Final dress rehearsal for the National Football League this weekend and for your Eagles. Appreciate all of you coming aboard. Thank you very much. And I can't thank you enough, each and every single one of you, each and every single day coming aboard and supporting us. Super chats go to the top. We say that all the time. Thank you very much. Also, on top of that, we're very fortunate that you guys come here and choose us each and every single day. There's so many more options out there for you guys to choose, and you choose us. And I don't tell you that enough. So thank you again for coming aboard. Appreciate this as well. New member, thank you again for coming aboard. A lot of people now starting to check in because, as I said, this is the last dress rehearsal for the upcoming season. Rosters will be set on Sunday. You'll see a lot of movement on Monday with guys going to the practice squad, deactivating guys. We'll see a lot of people like that being moved around. I would think that they're going to put Eli Stowers on the active roster on Sunday, and then come Monday, I would think they're going to put him on IR, 4 games. That's an automatic. So he'll be back sometime in October. So that probably means that Calcaterra will probably make the team. And you'll see what happens with Eli Stowers. I don't know if he's going to be a factor or not. So far, not so good for the first 2 draft point choices that they made on the April draft. So let me get going here. By the way, thank you very much on the tailgate. That thing is just going great. There's very few left. Okay? December 13th, we're going to be in Philly for the Indianapolis Colts game. We're going to be there. And a lot of people chimed in yesterday, and I can't thank you guys enough for doing that. It was absolutely awesome. Joe Krause told me that there was just a crap load of people that were texting him, getting lined up for this thing. $135 tickets. You get an opportunity to go to the Colts game. We're going to be out there from 9 until noon. That'll be the tailgate and lot P. You get a custom JAKIB Nation hoodie. Autographs. We're going to be out there autographing stuff. We're going to bring a bunch of pictures too. Zander's giveaway, this annual national gift. Krause's coats. And again, all you have to do, folks, is text 267-261-3428. That's 267-261-3428. There's just a few spots that are left. And get this, if you even don't like big sales, $135 for a ticket is insane. And I'm assuming that that's going to be a pretty good game. Plus, by the way, Shane Steichen comes home. So that's, 267-261-3428. This thing will be done, by the way, by the end of the day. I know it. There's just a couple spots left. So make sure you get in where you fit in. All right. So let's start in here with your draft choice. Good day, Swab. Appreciate you. Dude. Makai Lemon is not showing any signs of being an NFL wide receiver. You know, Gary Cobb was out at the link last night, and he can't get off the line of scrimmage. And he doesn't have the speed to be a Deebo Samuel. He's just not showing any signs of being able to get off the line of scrimmage. None. Zero. It's probably why USC put him in the slot. There's not one redeeming quality so far in Makai Lemon's game so far that anybody says this guy's going to be a top flight wide receiver. Let alone the fact he can't stay on the field. This guy doesn't look very good. He's closer to Jalen Reagor than he is to DeVonta Smith. And for the record, Howie Roseman has a horrible track record at drafting wideouts. A horrible record at drafting wide receivers. What would make you think this guy's going to be great? Oh, let me get this right. Because he won the Biletnikoff Award. Just because you win a college award, that doesn't necessarily translate to being a good football player in the NFL. I think right now you're hoping he's like a Percy Harvin or like he's a good player. He's not going to ever be, I don't think, exceptional. Now, let's do this. Could it be the hamstring? Sure. But I'm talking about getting off the line of scrimmage. I mean, it was a busted play last night that got him in the end zone. And they lined him up in the backfield. I mean, it was a complete busted, it was a complete busted assignment. So if this kid doesn't pan out, you think makes a trade for Marvin Harrison Jr.? I don't know. Dude, not right now, no. Not right now, no. But right now, this guy's not shown one redeeming quality of being a wide receiver in this league. And get this, that's everybody that's been watching and watching when the guy gets out there. There's not one skill set that shows he can get off the line of scrimmage. Now I know why the other day Sean Mannion was working with him on getting off the line of scrimmage. This guy gets jammed at the point of attack and he can't get free. Hey, how about this? Let's do this. Let's go to his pre-draft profile and see what he struggles with. And see so far if that's what everyone has seen. Okay? Here's Makai Lemon's draft profile. Could use a hair more patience to prevent rushing a route. He rounds routes off according to people that have been at practice. And he rounded a route off last night according to people that were watching the practice. Appears quicker than fast when working vertical routes. He's not very fast. Can be a little more disengaging once captured underneath. Means he can't get free. Get this. Competitive, but relatively ordinary after the catch. And here's the most important thing and what they did last night for him. Needs runway to break off comebacks out of the drive phase. They got to create a way to get him open. That's not my profile. That's the NFL's profile of Makai Lemon. He can't get off the line of scrimmage. And that's one of the things that he's been struggling with is getting off the line of scrimmage. Hey, this thing may turn around. And I hope for the kid it does. But I didn't write that profile. That's not my profile on the kid. That's what they said about the kid. He's ordinary after the catch, and he struggles at the point of attack. If you jam him, he can't get open. That's why he plays out of the slot. Get this. They thought this kid was going to be somebody that they were going to be able to put at the Y and Z. There's no chance this kid will play Y or Z. He doesn't have the skill set to do it. So far, he has not shown any skill set to get off the line of scrimmage. Okay? I mean, listen, I'll read it again. This is what NFL players, when you come out of college, you got a profile. Pretty much the same profile for Jalen Hurts has pretty much stayed the same. And also, like when we were talking about AJ, could use a hair more patience to prevent rushing the route. Okay? Appears quicker than fast when working on vertical routes. I mean, he's got a quick twitch, but he's not fast. Can be a little slow on the underneath routes. Competitive, but ordinary after the catch. I mean, Jesus criminy. And needs to be able to put in space on comebacks. This is the NFL profile of this guy. I didn't write that. I didn't write that stuff. Told you it was a red flag when he can't process PP playbook. Yeah, thanks, Kim. Kim, I don't think it's the playbook. Maybe a little bit. But I think what they do in that Lincoln Riley system, I think they basically are like, they're like not very detailed in their route running. They're not defined. Like when you watch Ohio State wide receivers, Alabama wideouts, LSU wideouts, those guys are skilled at running routes and getting open. This guy's not skilled. He's not skilled at any of that. So, I mean, you're talking about teaching him proper route running, being not ordinary after the catch. Boy, you got a tough one here. In a year where, guess what? In a year where you let AJ walk. That's not a good combo. I would be trying to find out what the Eagles West Coast Big Ten scout had to say about Lemon. Did the scout see this, but Howie made his own decision? Dude, I think Howie probably, DFW, I think Howie probably had more respect for Lincoln Riley than he did for the kid because he came out of that system. Fans aren't emotionally vested in Lemon, so if he doesn't work out, okay, Howie will fix it like he did with Rager. Yeah, he hit on DeVonta. So far, as I've said before, Howie Roseman drafting wide receivers, that's not a very good strength of his. Who I need to call to get to the tailgate, me and my wife will pull up. Big Marsh, you are awesome. Text this number, bro. 267-261-3428. Pump, I'd love to have you out there, bro. I really would. You put a chair right next to me, man. Okay? You'd be out there, man. You're a big supporter of the program. You put your ass right out there with your wife. How you doing? Elliot Parks is a bitch, too. Dude takes practice, stats in practice. Clown. Hey, you see a lot of people doing that now. Got to give it to Elliott because a lot of teams now have a stooge out there that's part of the organization that's doing that stuff with the stats. I've said this repeatedly. We will draft another wideout one in the next 2 years. DeVonta's getting older. Looks like Lemon may be an average guy. Hopefully, we are overreacting. Hopefully, we are. But we definitely need more top-end talent wide receiver. Bro, hey, Bird, right now, I'm hoping this guy turns out to be okay. I mean that. I don't want him to fail. I get nothing vested in the guy. No, I'm not sitting here going, hey, so my take can be right. Oh, my God. And by the way, I really don't have a take that he's a bust yet. I just don't like what I see. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like his maturity. And I don't like his skill. And I'm not even talking about catching the football yet. I haven't seen it enough. But getting off the line of scrimmage is a problem for this guy. Shit, dude. How do you make catches if you can't get off the line of scrimmage and the only place you can play is in the slot? I promise you, that was not what the Eagles had in mind with him, was that they were just going to solely play him in the slot. They wanted to put him out wide. Dude, Dontavian Wicks has by far won that job. As a matter of fact, the 3 guy, the battle's between Darius Cooper now and Elijah Moore. Makai Lemon does not deserve to play in the opening week of the games, and he does not clearly deserve to be in the open against the Commanders. But he will, because he's a first-round pick, and that's Howie's guy. There lies the problem when a GM has control of the roster. You're not going to play the guy who deserves it. You're going to play the political game with it and office politics. That's not helping your team. That's not a guy who's in control. Nick Sirianni, let me ask you this. If Nick Sirianni doesn't put Darius Cooper or Elijah Moore in wide receiver 3, and it's Makai Lemon, he clearly has no strength over his own roster. As a matter of fact, I heard Nick say something. I went back and listened to the presser that Nick had. I've been cut 3 times. Bucks, Cowboys, and Lions. I have never been in a room where the general manager was in the room with the head coach. And Nick said that Howie is in the room when they let these guys go. For what? They didn't get coached by Howie. Why does Howie have to have such an affinity for the people he puts on the team? Your job is to be the GM, not to coach him, not to tell people who to play. But it is in Philly. This is what I was saying with Zander yesterday. Nick doesn't have any control over who plays. You think you're going to play that shit with Andy Reid or Sean McVay? Hell no. Kyle Shanahan, you're not doing that with those guys. John Harbaugh, you're not doing that shit with them dudes. Those guys are head chief in charge of who plays, who stays, and who's on the roster. This is the shit that goes, hey, where's DFW? This is the crap that goes on in Dallas. Jerry Jones is in the room when those guys get cut. Why? Why is Jerry in the room? Because he picked him? Big deal. You undercut your coach when you do that. You undercut his authority. And that's been, and again, like Zander says, that's the way the Eagles do business. Like I was talking about Mike Vrabel yesterday. Mike Vrabel has complete say in that damn roster on who's staying and who's not. I want him. And by the way, just so you know, he's like this. We need better players in our backups. And some would say, well, he's throwing shade. Well, Mike's only been there 2 years. I mean, a GM is in the room when you're getting cut. Why? Because how he drafted you? Dude, I owe no allegiance to the GM for drafting me. I owe allegiance to my coach for wanting me and playing me and trying to develop me. I owe no allegiance to people who drafted me. You drafted, hey, by the way, this isn't a military draft. You chose me. I owe nothing to you. Nothing. I owe it to my coach to go out and play the best to my ability. I owe nothing to Howie. Pay me. Thanks for drafting me. Other than that, I owe nothing to you. But for like the 5 years I've covered your team, it's like he has this like, I saw him standing up front of the locker room in Indianapolis a couple years ago, patting the guys on the back. He's always in the locker room. I'm like, what? I mean, come on, dude. But to Zander's point, that's how they do business. There's no doubt. What's a general manager doing in a room when a guy's getting waived? He didn't coach me. He didn't do anything except draft me. So what? I owe nothing to the GM. You chose me. I owe nothing to you. Nothing. My coaches are the people that I'm loyal to. But you undercut that. That's why Jimmy used to throw Jerry out of the locker room or out of team meetings all the time. Jimmy didn't want the players thinking they could run to him. It's a dumb way of doing business. And now you know why Doug Peterson, again, it's totally true. Doug hated the fact that Howie was involved with his roster. Who knows better to play? You think Howie Roseman is smarter as a football man than Nick? Shit. I'm not a big Nick guy, but there's no way he knows more football than Nick. Why would I give a shit what Howie thinks when it comes to keeping a player or what a player's skill set is? Why would I give a shit? If Howie drafts somebody, puts him on my roster, and that guy's not good, or he signs a guy, and that guy's not good, I have to play him because he's Bryce Huff, and you gave him $17.5 million bucks? Thank God Nick doesn't get in the way of Vic of that shit. Because Vic laughs at that. Dude. Hey, they have success because of this. There's no doubt. He's gotten better as a talent evaluator over the last 7 years. Prior to that, he was not very good. But he's gotten better since the Jalen Reagor pick. But the two areas that he struggles at is edge rusher in the first round and wideout. Those are the two areas that he struggles. Howie has drafted DeVonta Smith. Absolutely true. Great player. The rest of them guys are okay. Nobody great. And now it looks like he's got another guy that will be okay. Dude, you're praying that guy's Jeremy Maclin. You're praying that Makai Lemon will be Jeremy Maclin right now. And that guy gives you some production. If you can't get off the line of scrimmage in the NFL, I don't care what your hands are. I mean, Sills, Howie's involvement has a Moneyball Billy Bean vibe, which I guess is accurate. Just because Howie has the authority to be in there doesn't mean he should be. That's how they run things. Oh, I get it. That's how they run things. A general man, I heard Nick say that today or yesterday, and I'm like, the general manager is in a room when you're keeping a guy or you're cutting a guy. For what? Why is Howie in there? Oh, I get it. It's his roster. That means it ain't Nick's. Nick has no say on who's on Philadelphia Eagles 53-man roster. None. He has no say. He could give a suggestion. I think this guy's this and this guy's that. I think we should keep this many guys. How he makes the call on Nick's players. Guys like Bill Parcells, Belichick, Tomlin, all them dudes would never work in that environment. They would never work in that environment. Shanahan, never. Brian Dable, you think Brian Dable is going to be told what wideout to play? Or do you think Mike McDaniel was going to go and take a knee to how he wanted to play on Sundays? Now I know why they don't want to be here. It's not because of Nick or Jalen. It's because of Roseman and how Roseman runs the roster. Those guys don't want to play like that. Now, someone turn around and go, Sills, it's been pretty successful. It has. But these guys have egos. Now, I know why those coaches did not want to do anything or be anything part. A quality coordinator did not want anything to do with that offense. It had nothing to do with Hurts and it had nothing to do with Nick. It's the way the Eagles operate and how they pick the roster. You find it funny? You had 17 interviews and you landed on a guy with no experience whatsoever. Gee, why? Because you know why? You could tell Sean Mannion who to play. Any quality guy or anybody who would ever call plays, You're not telling that guy who to play. And the only reason you could tell Kellen Moore what to do was because he was fired twice. Got fired in Dallas, and he got fired in Los Angeles. That's the only reason that he's there. And guys like, I'm not even responding to dummies like Reyes because he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. This is so far over his head. He has no idea what the fuck's going on because he's never been through this. Like I said, I've been cut 3 times. I know how this shit works. And I've never seen anything like it. How would he know? And by the way, I heard Nick say it yesterday. Teams are going to man press the shit out of Lemon until he shows he can get off man press. Absolutely what I would do. I would press cover that guy. And quite frankly, I don't think he has NFL strength to beat press coverage. And let me tell you something, man. Makai Lemon, man, it don't look good. You know, I'll give you a little insight on players. When you see a first rounder and you see a guy and you're out there for about 35, 40 minutes, a lot of veteran guys can say this, yeah, that guy's going to be good. Hey, like, how long do you think it took the Eagle guys to figure out DeVonta was a great player? How long do you think that it took the NFL guys his first year in 21? What do you think? 2 practices where they went, yeah, that guy's good. That guy's good. 1 practice. Jimbo, I'm with you. Probably 20 minutes. 2 routes. Yeah, you do this. Yeah. That's what players do. You do this. Yeah. Yep. Get this. I'll give you a little insight on Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor was the 3rd-team linebacker in New York his first practice. Okay? He was the 3rd-team linebacker. By the end of the practice, Ray Perkins said, yeah, no, he's starting. Yeah, no. He's going to start over Gary Reasons. Yeah. Took him 1 practice. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, he's starting. I mean, now, that's an exceptional player. And some of those guys just jump off the charts at you. Some guys take longer. Some guys do mature later. Organizations have to show patience. You know why the Eagles show patience? Because of Howie's ego. In places like Seattle, you know why they gave up on Tariq Woolen? They gave up on Tariq Woolen because John Schneider's a personnel man. And he looked at the guy and said, yeah, no. Howie, on the other hand, looks at his guys and it's who he drafted. I've never seen more 5th, 6th, and 7th rounders make a football team in my life than in Philly. And I think the only reason those guys make your football team is because of the big money you pay on offense. Look at the backups that you have on your offensive line right now. Look at the draft picks. Willie Lampkin, free agent. Take a look at what you have in your backups right now in your offensive line. Let's take a look outside of Markel Bell. A 3rd rounder, that's a pretty big deal. That's a quality pick. And that's a premium pick, a 3rd rounder. But here, let's see who their O-line backups are. Drew Kendall. What round was Drew Kendall drafted? Okay, he's a 5th rounder. Okay? Let's see what Michael Jordan was drafted. He was a 4th rounder from Cincinnati. So he's a free agent. Let's see, who else? Fred Johnson was what was he? A free agent? I think he was at Cincinnati. It's not high-end guys outside of Markel Bell. All these other guys are free agents. Like Miles Hinton, 6th rounder. Let's see. Like I said, Willie Lampkin. He was with the Rams last year, undrafted. These guys aren't big draft guys. There's not high volume investment there. You know why? Because you have all your high investment in your starters and all your money in your starters. You have to have guys that make less money behind them dudes. And when you have that, you got lesser talent. Chip Kelly didn't want Howie around. It's part of the reason why he was unliked by the front office. Doug also. Nick is their yes man. Now, wait a minute. I want to be able to go back and say, I think he's done a hell of a job when it comes to drafting over the last 7 years. He has. Actually, since the Rager deal. If you look at his draft from the Rager on, it's been pretty good to spectacular. So if he misses on Makai Lemon, he misses on Andre Dillard, he's not going to hit on every guy. Everyone knows that. Okay? I mean, Cam Jurgens, 2nd rounder. Okay, he landed on a really good player in the 2nd round along with Landon. That shit covers that stuff. If Markel Bell turns out to be a fine ball player, that's going to be great. If he could start maybe in 2-3 years there at right tackle, that's a great pick. Hit on Bell. Yeah, sure. Okay. Get this. Okay. We'll take his metric. That means Lemon sucks if they hit on Bell. And that means Stowers sucks if you go with RC3s. If Bell is a hit, Lemon and Stowers are a bust, according to RC. If we use his metric, can't say one's a bust and the other's a hit if you use the same metric, or do you pick and choose? Just curious, dude. So when you say a guy hits, kid's been injured. Okay, great. Tell you what, RC, you think he's going to be a star player in this league? I don't believe it. Do you think Makai Lemon's going to be a star player in this league? Oh, wait a minute. No, this ain't hating. This is reality talk. This is roster building. By the way, stop falling in love with your freaking players. This is about roster building, not about love affairs, going on dates, being on dating apps. This is not Tinder. Seals, if Howie Roseman can't hit on receivers, that's a position I'm trading for because I want the sure thing. Exactly. Okay? Hold on. RC, is Makai Lemon going to be a star player? Yes or no? Do you think this kid is going to be a star player? Yes or no? I'm saying right now, no. I don't see the intangibles that you guys talk about with Jalen Hurts. Do you think this guy's going to be a star? RC, yes or no? Watch this. He won't answer it. Dude, whatever, guy. Says, we don't know who's a hit or not right now. It's week 0. Let's see what happens when. This is what I do, dude. I am a talk show host that makes opinions. I'm not a journalist. We are Eagle fans. Deal with it. Eagle fans. Okay. Keep liking a guy who I think's not going to make it. But I'm pulling for him. How we better use those 2 number 1 draft picks in 28 to move up. He can't draft for shit. That's not true. That's not true. Seals, in reality, though, can you fought the guy's ego? Wouldn't be something I would personally do, but he's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. He builds with. I didn't say he's not and hasn't been great the last 7 years. Did you not hear me say that? Did you not hear me say that? So it's more common for those slow starters to be from the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. I don't think I could remember an offensive player being a slow learner, ended up being a dude, maybe O-line. Dude, when you put Cam Jurgens in the starting lineup at guard, he was an alternate Pro Bowler. Right? Jordan Davis is taking a little time. He's still not, get this, Jordan Davis is still not where they need him to be. He's not a 3-down player. That guy's still not there yet. He's not a 3-down guy. And you're paying him because you believe he will be. So what do you think is the difference between Howie's way of business and Jerry Jones? Only has had a lot of recent success. I'll tell you flat out, how many people, why do you think Howie Roseman has more success than Jerry when they operate kind of the same way? This is Howie's ball game. If you control the roster, you control the team. Don't you get that? The front office controls the team because they control the roster. The coaches, that's why they pivot off coaches. They don't pivot off of front office people. They pivot off of coaches. Expand more, RC. Why do you think Howie has more success than Jerry Jones? I'll tell you flat out why. Howie will pivot quicker. He'll pivot. You know what he did? Guys, do me a favor. Kyle, Reyes, anybody. After they realized that Jalen Reagor blew out loud, how fast did they pivot to AJ? How fast did they pivot to A.J. Brown? Was it within a year? When they realized that Jalen Reagor stunk, what was it, 2 years before they made that deal for A.J. Brown? Jerry won't pivot that fast. He'll sit there and die with that player for 4 years. Howie's not going to sit there and die with Nolan Smith. He'll go get Hassan Reddick. He'll go get a Bryce Huff, which he missed, but then turned around and got Jalen Phillips. Howie's not going to sit around for longer than 2 years, where Jerry's going to go 4 years, 4.5 years. Because you know why? He picked that player, and he's still trying to do this. Okay? He made sure that he wanted to know that he was a better talent evaluator than Jimmy. Reagor was 2000 and 2021, and AJ was in the building in 2022. 2 years. Howie pivots quicker. He sees something, he's not going to die with it. That is a sign of a great GM. Hey, listen, every GM's got their own kryptonite in what they can't or can do. Howie doesn't have many of them. The problem that he gets, though, is his front office is so vested in the roster that he influences who plays. Darius Cooper should play more in the Commander game. He's earned the right, but he won't. That means that he has no say over the roster. And Lemon's not showing any signs of being a contributor. How about this? Let's back up and say this. Lemon has shown no signs of being a contributor right now. None. You could make the argument he's the worst wide receiver in the room. Let's take a look at that. Is Lemon better than Wicks? I won't even talk about DeVonta. Is Lemon better than Wicks? No. Is he better than Brown or Elijah Moore? No. Is he better than Britton Covey and Quez Watkins? I guess. Is he better than Darius Cooper? No. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers in that room that are better than him. That deserve to play on the 13th. I mean, you talk about, you say you reward players for working hard and practicing. Not in Philly, because it matters where you're drafted. How are you going to help Jalen Hurts with lesser dudes on the field because the GM wants to put Makai Lemon out there? How does that help Jalen Hurts? Because Howie said so? Listen. So a week ago, you had no idea on Lemon. So all of a sudden, common. Okay, hey, Sean, I hope the kid pans out for you. I really do. That's very true. It can easily flip midseason, though. Lemon could earn his right more and more each week. Absolutely. They're gifting him the 3rd spot. He hasn't earned it. Listen to this. Seals, can we get 250 yards and 1 TD? Is that Dotson production? The 20th pick in the draft is not what the Eagles were hoping, 250 yards and 1 TD. Here's the other issue. Well, I don't know what he's saying here, but I'll add something else. He's got another good point. Not only have you missed so far what it looks like in your first pick, you've also missed on your second pick, who was supposed to be the heir apparent to Dallas Goedert. Do you understand how wild this is? You're pivoting off of A.J. Brown. You're going to move off of Dallas Goedert after this year. Maybe not now, because Stowers has shown no signs of anything. And those two people were supposed to be, an impact to your football team's new passing attack this year. And so far, Johnny Munt's better. How can Johnny Munt be better? You said it yourself. Dude, I'm talking getting off the freaking line of scrimmage. I'm talking about a skill. I'm not even talking about his hands. This guy cannot get off the line of scrimmage. Now I know what that video was 2 days ago. They're working on him getting off of press coverage. Dude, that's before you even get in your route. I mean, Sills, per NFL player signed to an NFL contract who is cut to free agent, he may sign with another NFL club or return to college, but that player is a free agent and will not be subject to a future draft. but the player is a free. Okay, so what? Great. So if that kid goes to LSU and has a superstar year, the NFL just made him a free agent and he gets to pick his team. Phenomenal. Player wins. You mean I don't have to go to a shitty team? And I'm not going into the draft? Fabulous. What if he becomes the first team All-American tight end in college this year at LSU? And he has 1,100 yards. And he would be considered the best tight end. Now you don't get a chance to draft him. He gets to pick his team? Sign me up for that any day. That means I could go play with Matthew Stafford or Patrick Mahomes and take over for Travis Kelce. That is in light if the kid is good. Great. Thank you. Thank you for making my job easier and making more money. It's a stupid rule by the league. I mean, he's not subject to the draft, so the kid gets to pick the team he wants to go to when he comes out. Okay, deal. Shake on it. Hope you don't renege. Do you understand when you're a good player and you come out of college, you have to go to shitty teams? What the NFL is saying here is, if you're a good player, you don't have to go to shitty teams. You get to pick your team. Okay. The NFL just made it easier for that kid to make a football team next year. Now you're telling the kid you can't. Now, like a bad team doesn't get first opportunity at the guy. That's all in light if the kid's going to be a star player at LSU this year. I mean, that's stupid. Per NFL. Yes, you will not be subject to an NFL draft. But when you come out of college next year, I get to pick the team I want to go to. That means I get to also negotiate a salary? Great. Thank you. Perfect. I'll take it. You can't be any dumber. So I get this. So get this. If I get drafted in the second or third round, I go to a team and I find out that I hate the team that I'm drafted to. Now, I get to go back into college in the SEC. And then the following year, I get to go and maybe improve my draft status, and I'm a first-round talent, and I get to pick my team. What if I'm the best defensive lineman in the college ranks? I'm not in the first round? Perfect. They'll come back to bite them. And no regret saying that. Remember I told you that. Because you know what's going to happen? A first-round kid is going to go to a team that he hates. Then he's going to go back to Florida or Georgia or Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State. Then he's going to go in next year as a free agent. He's going to pick his team. How you doing? Yeah, they think because the kid wasn't that high of a draft choice. What happens when a high draft? What if Fernando Mendoza goes, I hate the Raiders, and I want to go back to college, and because I'm a COVID guy, I get a 6th year. That means next year I don't go into the draft, and I get to pick a football team I want to go to? Great. Great. This kid's getting destroyed because of his last name. Easy to troll. Makai Lemon is getting killed because of him not being available, and so far the skill set that he's showing. Sills, Howie admitted himself he is looking 3 to 5 years ahead. Read the tea leaves. They're plotting right now to move off of Hurts next season. Last chance, new OC, stocking up on picks, no extensions. Maybe. Well, Professor, he's got to deal with contingencies. Sills, he's got He's got to be cut, though, right? I think so. Wouldn't the team own his rights throughout his life, the contract? He's got to be cut. Yes. You're right. Mendoza's not getting cut. You're right. He'd have to get cut. So more than likely, you're right. You're not going to cut a first rounder. Just a guy going through camp. You're right. You're right. So it would have to be right now. It'd probably be, you know what though, dude? I might take that to court too and challenge that. I might challenge that rule. Who says I can't go back? Who says I can't quit and go back to college? What, the NFL? They have bylaws? Will that hold up in court where you can tell me where to work? Hey, guys, you know the NFL draft is illegal. And that's why the NBA has a lottery. The NBA has a lottery for a reason. Because they know the NFL draft is illegal. You can't tell a guy where to go to work. Hey, you're working in Cincinnati here, and you'll like it. I don't want to work there. Take that to court. And the reason the Big Ten said no, because they know in a court of law, it won't hold up. And they want the court of public opinion on their side. You see the coach from Texas Tech? He's already saying this. I'll look at kids coming out who get cut and have extra eligibility. Of course, the Big Ten and the SEC is going to say no. They'll get beat in court. Get this. The kid's got an injunction. The Big Ten and SEC can't say no. The kid's got the court on his sides. Oh, hey, we're going to buck federal law and a judge's decision because the SEC and the Big Ten said no. Good luck. Good luck with that. How are we just going to find a starting quarterback like that, huh? Quarterback factory's like a shit show. Dude, that's one thing, too, also about talking about a guy like Hurts and moving off him. Hey, dude, I get it. He doesn't play well. They'll entertain that. But when they start entertaining moving off for Hurts, who, for Tanner McKee? Tanner McKee's not the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. He never will be the future of this football team. Tanner McKee's not the future. He's the future somewhere else, maybe. You do not have the future quarterback on your roster right now. You have a guy who could be and currently is. Other than that, you don't have anything. The NFL is a job. You don't like it, don't work there. That's on you if you don't accept the terms of employment. Again, go to court. By the way, Steve, all these so-called rules have been challenged and everyone's been beat. Let's see here. Lemon will play Friday. Can we at least wait until then? Sure. No. Zima, you can. I'm not giving any... Hey, Zima, I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt the way you've limbered into your career like this. I'm not giving you the benefit. You got to start earning shit. How much stuff do you want to keep handing the kid? Well, he's always hurt. Well, fuck that. That's how opportunities are created for Darius Cooper. Ask yourself this, guys. If you're Darius Cooper, Zima wants to wait to give Lemon a shot. And there's Darius Cooper, who's been working his ass off for reps and to make a team. But you know what Zima was? Zima wants to give a guy who's done dick to earn a spot on the team over Darius Cooper, who's worked his ass off to get to that spot and doesn't really deserve reps over Cooper. But Zima wants to do this. Hey, because he was the 20th player taken, I want him to get more of an opportunity over a guy who's been working his ass off. Great. Talk about a socialist mentality. Hey, I don't care how hard Darius Cooper works. I don't care how hard Darius Cooper has tried to fit in. I don't give a shit. Makai Lemon, who's done nothing, gets that opportunity no matter what. That's the Howie Roseman mentality. And to a player, that's so uncool. But it's expected in Philly. As a matter of fact, it's expected in a lot of places. Not just Philly. Zima wants to give a kid and take that opportunity away from Darius Cooper, who might help Jalen Hurts. By the way, would we not agree? Maybe the only guy that Jalen Hurts has built any kind of chemistry with this camp has been Darius Cooper. Listen to this. How many people believe if Makai Lemon is healthy for week 1, Darius Cooper is going to start over him? Anybody in their right mind believe that? Or is that only a Zima thing? Lemon will see no snaps on Friday against cut guys. Imagine if Lemon tears his ACL in a useless outing by an illegal tackle. You're saving him? Jesus Christ, he hasn't shown enough to be saved. You want me to save a guy and give him another hall pass? I'm not going to play him this week, even though he's missed all the quality reps. And then you want to put him in a game against the Commanders? In a regular season football game? This guy's not ready to play in a regular season football game. Do you understand that? I don't even know if he knows the playbook. Richie wants to put this guy, not play him against the Bengals this week, and put him in a game that matters against a divisional opponent, even though he's missed the entire training camp and much of the mini and OTAs. Dude, he's not ready to play. Sills Lemon will have to play, I agree. Sucks for Cooper. However, or Howie doesn't want to explain to Laurie if he doesn't put Lemon on the field. Sometimes the economics are BS depending on the current situation. Yeah, well, that's when the GM runs your roster. Head football coach would do this like Vic. Yeah, no. Dude, why do you think Vic's talking shit on Jonathan Grenard? To me, if you just change the name Jonathan Grenard and put Bryce Huff in there, they sound like the same thing and the same phrasing that Vic was talking with Bryce Huff. I mean, just change the name. Bryce Huff, Jonathan Grenard. Sounds like the same context. Sounds like the same verbiage. Sounds like the same everything. Vic believes in practice. Get this. You hear people saying that practice and preseason doesn't matter. It matters to Vic. Maybe that's the only coach on the Eagles that practice matters and exhibition football matters. I don't think there's a coincidence. That side of the football is better. That side of the football is better because the way Vic runs it. Puts the top flight guy in. By the way, you can't, do me a favor. The next time you hear Vic talk, listen to the names he mentions. It matters. If you're a player, you're listening for that. Michael Carter. I keep hearing that name, Michael Carter. Michael Carter's had a great camp. You know why? Almost every press conference, Vic Fangio mentions his name. He's going to play a lot. You know, he might even have more of a passion for him than Marcus Epps. I think Epps and Carter are going to split time because he likes Carter. You hear him talking about Jalen Hunt, Moro Jomo, Trotter. Listen to the obscure names. You're talking about Ty Robinson showing up. That stuff matters with a coach like that. The shit that Nick says, oh my God, Makai Lemon, he's processing all the meetings, he's doing all the right things, all this. That is such bullshit. Yesterday, I got to tell you, that was just the biggest lines of bullshit I have ever heard for kissing my general manager's ass that I've ever heard in my life by a head football coach. Talking about a guy who hasn't practiced and sitting there and processing and watching from the sidelines and drinking water with an ice cup is obnoxious. It's obnoxious. What does that have to do with anything on playing football? Because you're on the sidelines and you're paying attention? Well, welcome to the NFL. Let me get this right. You're paying attention. You were a first-round draft pick, and you're attentive. Well, thank you very much for not robbing a bank. What the hell is that? We're now giving people credit for paying attention? It doesn't get any funnier. That shit doesn't get any funnier. Oh, my God. What was the shit? I wrote down Nick said all this shit. Look at this. Makai Lemon is really studying hard. Well, thank you. He's out there, working and trying to get better to get back on the field. Thank you. And he's doing everything he can to play. Thank you. Yeah, sure, okay. We're giving credit for studying now. Sills, Lemon Tree will have to play. Okay. No, you idiot. It happens all the time in the NFL. Who gives up on a first-round pick without playing him on the field in an actual NFL game? I never once said that any NFL team gives up on anybody. I'm making a prediction. I don't think this guy's going to be who you think he is. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Idiots like that hear 2% of what people say. Hear 2%. Whoever said they were cutting him? That's fantasy made up shit. So also, if Nick had full autonomy of his roster, he should keep Lemon on the bench. I realize the transition from college to the NFL could be tough for some. Maybe if he's a real player, he will wake up. Yeah. It is. Dude, let me tell you this. Because I miss so much, take it from me. One of the reasons that I completely failed outside of me getting sick, okay, was that I had no time to read a playbook. I was a hurricane on Friday, getting ready to play against the Gators on Saturday. I played against the Bears on Sunday. I didn't even know the plays. I wasn't ready. I hadn't get this. RC3 says, me almost being read my last rites and me dying on a gurney with my wife and my aunt and my family. And me dying and being read my last rites is an excuse. Okay. If you think that's an excuse, have at it, RC. You didn't fail. You had a great college career, made it to the NFL. We have an amazing broadcasting career with JAKIB. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it. Okay? Yes, the first play to prove you wrong. Have at it. Have at it. When I hear a guy can't get off the line of scrimmage, you better hope that's an injury. I wonder who was the scout who sold Howie on his bag of lemon. Joe Douglas, dude fucked up the Jets for 20 years. Hey, dude. I think Howie likes Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley was almost the head football coach of the Eagles. Either way, the passing game will be subpar. Seals Lemon, meringue pie, scored a nice touchdown last night. About that, baby. There's hope. Makai is the perfect receiver for Jalen Hurts. He's short to slow, so Hurts can just sail it over his head and call it. Battle Royale today, by the way. I love guys saying no excuses are the ones who haven't sniffed an Oklahoma drill in their life. Stick to your keyboards, you troll clowns in the chat. That was one of my favorite drills, dude, was the Oklahoma drill, and I was spectacular at that drill. It always seemed that the coach would pick me. Ray Perkins picked me. Jimmy used to pick me. My high school coach would pick me to do that Oklahoma drill. I don't know what it was, but I was great at that drill. Sills, I like what I saw from Hurts. We're going to get to Jalen here in a minute. He had some good, bad moments last night, but I like the fact he's putting in the work. You're never going to be in an issue where Jalen's not going to put the work in. Okay? Sills, when I say your name in a sentence, that's when I'm talking to you. Thank you, James. Appreciate you, bro. All right. So, yeah, man, I thought that was weird when I heard Nick say that about when they cut a guy. I was cut by Wayne Fontes, Jimmy Johnson, and Ray Perkins. I don't ever remember GM being in the room. Coach wants to see you. Bring your playbook. You walk in. Now, Ron Hughes, the GM of the Lions, he's the guy that went to my room and got me and said this. Listen, we don't want you cut. We want you here. Please go and talk to Wayne Fontes. I walked in the office. He goes, I already know it. Everybody wants you. And I go, but you don't. He goes, I made a commitment to Lawrence Pete. And I said, I'm better than Lawrence Pete. He goes, I know. But we've got $1 million tied up in him. I got cut because of money. And back then it was 47. No practice squads. That's why my wife, when we were at an NFL alumni thing with the Bucks, and he said one of my biggest mistakes was cutting you, that's why my wife looked at him when he got up and was 2 inches away. She said, fuck that guy. It was crazy. Joe Gibbs was there. Rich McKay was there. Rich McKay goes, did your wife just tell Wayne Fontes to go fuck himself? I go, I believe she did. True story. But yeah, Sills, that was to RCR. All good, bro. I get you, man. Sills, think of the best GMs in the league. Do you think they operate like Howie as well? A hands-on GM? I think John Schneider, there's a difference. There's a difference. I happen to think that more GMs are involved in the player rosters because of the amount of money that are being generated. And they've got more autonomy on the rosters because you know why? A lot more of the owner's money is invested. Back in the day, a lot of the owner's money was not invested in the players. A couple $100,000. The margins were way big. You know what's funny? The margins were way bigger than they are now. You got a $60 million quarterback. That's like what? 20% of your salary cap? That's a big number to have to go to your NFL owner and go, well, the guy's not panning out. We got to kind of like pivot. I just gave the guy $120 million guaranteed. That's hard to get around that. Look at what happened to the GM up in Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy mess. That guy can't even beat out Carson Wentz. That guy can't beat Carson Wentz out right now. And that's a first-round pick that you gave guaranteed $28 million to. And you got to go to Ziggy Wolf, the owner of the Vikings, and go, hey, you know that $30 million? You might as well light that in a trash can on fire. I mean, see here. These are my favorite. Sills ain't do shit in the NFL. Oh, you're right. I just got there. Keep sitting there with your program and your banner and your burgers and your beer, rooting for guys like me that play on. There's a reason there's more dudes in the stands than on the field because of dudes like that. That's a guy that sits in the stands. That's a guy that sits in the stands and doesn't know anything about competing in life. Joe Gibbs doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion. Tremendous coach. He was part of Air Coryell in San Diego. He was. Took the system to Washington and won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. By the way, the reason why Joe Gibbs had Doug Williams, he scouted Doug Williams for the Bucs when they made him the first-round pick. He was the offensive coordinator for John Makai. That was the connection. So is JAKIB going to be covering the draft next year in D.C.? I'm going only 3 hours away. Boy, I'll tell you what, man, that's going to be something wild. In the National Mall, having the NFL draft in the mall, dude, that would be dope. Being there in Washington, D.C., if you've never been to the National Mall, it's one of the greatest things you could ever see. Get the Washington Monument there, get the Lincoln Memorial. It's really cool. Okay? Dan, just stopping in to tell you this rage bait thing you're doing for this half-rate company is a disgrace. Don't you love when people take time out of their day, like Dumpstein here, and to come here and say that? Like, he waited all night long last night, doing whatever on Spankervision, and couldn't wait to get here today to post this. As I will use a Charlie Sheen line, winning. Hey, winning. I made that dude. I got that dude so upset that he took time out of his day to come in here and post that. That's a win, guy. Let me guess. I mean, hey, can you imagine that? I love it. Hey, waited all day just to post it. Can you believe that? He waited all day. I'm going to drop a link. This shit out caught it this morning. Dude, I'm going to do something here I probably shouldn't do. Send that to my freaking email. dansileo@aol.com. Just send it there. Please. Okay? And put 10 a.m. I'll be there. Oh, wait, I can't tomorrow because I'm starting my new show on Sports Grid at 9. That's only for you guys. Sills, Howie would not need to be as hands-on if he hired an experienced coach. He doesn't want to hire an experienced coach. The Eagles have never hired an experienced coach. Okay? Oh, I know who it is. Here's LJ again. Different name, same bat time, same bat channel. Just a different name. Can you imagine having to change your name 700 times because you're embarrassed who you are in your life? I'm pretty proud being Big Cells. I love being Big Cells. LJ hates being LJ. LJ has to change his name 700 times because he's LJ. Cells, my motherfuckers in the chat can't keep it. The football shit is weak. It takes away from the show. I'm trying to listen while I'm at work. I got you. You know what? That's my fault too, Danelle. That's my fault. To be fair, Howie being hands-on has done more good than... Yes, that's a great take. That's a great take. Howie's done more good with his way of working than not. You're right. Hey, dude. This is why, again, Bill Belichick ran the entire football operations. So, get this. Everyone says that Bill Belichick got lucky. How many people think that Bill Belichick got lucky in New England with Brady? This will dispel that conversation I had with Zander yesterday. How many people believe that Bill Belichick got lucky with Tom Brady? How many people believe that? How many people believe? Okay, Jason says, I do. Belichick couldn't draft receivers either. And yet, receivers like Edelman are the all-time postseason receivers in NFL history. I do. Okay? Who else? Okay, let's leave this here. So, Bill Belichick got lucky with Brady. Scouting department takes him the 199th player taken. Right? Okay. Would you think there's a little bit of luck to that? Because let's take a look at this. Belichick passed on Brady with Scott Pioli. They passed on him 5 times. So you can't sit there and go, oh, we had a first-round grade on him like Bill Polian tried to bullshit people and saying that the Colts had a first-round grade on him. And, you know, we knew he was a guy, and we knew he was going to be that guy. Let's see here. I'm going to write this in here. So, you can go down that lane. But 1,000% he says that he got lucky. You tell me. In 2001, the New England Patriots signed Drew Bledsoe to a contract of 10 years, $103 million. It was the largest contract in pro football history. $18.5 million signing bonus. The following year, Bledsoe gets hurt on Monday night. maybe it was Thursday night ball. He gets hurt. He misses the entire rest of the season. They put Brady in. Brady goes on, plays well. Playoffs come. Brady gets hurt. Guess who starts the AFC Championship game? Drew Bledsoe, the more experienced guy. Guess what Belichick did? He did something that Doug Peterson might want to have tried. Instead of sticking with Nick Foles, Bill Belichick went, no, we're going back to the 6th rounder instead of the number 1 overall player taken, who just signed a $100 million deal. Then he had to march his ass upstairs and tell Belichick, had to walk upstairs to tell Kraft, you know that money you gave him? You know all that money you gave him? Exit out, throw it in a trash can. We're going with the 199th pick. Bob Kraft must have shit his pants. You tell me if that was a game-changing decision that he made. Where most people would do what Howie did. They'd go back to Wentz. That's what you did. And it bombed. Who knows what it would have been if you had stuck with Foles? Thank you, Suave. That was decision-making that Bill made for the franchise, and he chose right. What if Nick Saban, instead of picking Dante Culpepper, had actually picked Drew Brees? Not only did he draft him, but he made the right call on him, and it wasn't because he was drafted number 1 over. Drew Bledsoe was the number 1 overall player taken, who had signed a 10-year, $103 million contract, and Bill voided it the next year. That's decision-making that Belichick made running that franchise. So you could say he got lucky with Brady, but he got lucky with Brady and then believed in it and didn't go down the lane. Well, he's the first player taken. He went with the best choice. Unlike you guys with Foles. If Alshon Jeffries catches that pass against New Orleans, he'd have been in 2 NFC Championship games in back-to-back years. I wonder what the Eagles would have done. They probably still would have went to Wentz. Like most franchises do. They're going to go back to the guy they drafted and paid. You could say all you want. He got lucky with Brady, but he believed in Brady. And they let the number 1 overall player taken go. Then they traded him to the Bills. You could say all you want about luck. How about the strategy that went around it? And seeing the vision and the future. He could have easily left Bledsoe in after the NFC Championship game. As a matter of fact, Bob Kraft wanted Drew Bledsoe to start the Super Bowl against the Rams. Bill said no. Say whatever you want. That's called decision-making, roster building, faith in what you're doing, belief in your program, a head coach making decisions. Can you imagine if he had to listen to a ton of general managers bullshit, analytic guys? Okay? And yes, Sirianni gets shit for believing in Hurts. Bro, are you fucking kidding me? He didn't draft Jalen Hurts. He has no control of his roster. None. He can't even tell you who's playing on Sundays until he clears it with Howie. Even the lamestream media at WIP showing concerns of the offense. Yeah, we're going to get there now. So let's go here. Jalen Hurts has thrown like 13 picks this offseason in this camp. What do you make of it? Oh, and by the way, so if DeVonta's not out there, there's going to be a high volume of turnovers? Okay. So if you're throwing picks in practice, you're going to be better in the game? Boy, I'll tell you what. Tom Brady is so much of a savant. You know what Brady says? Every single pass that I've ever thrown in practice, I was replicating everything I'm going to do in the game. And I did it at game tempo. I did it in my full gear. I always practice that way. Every practice rep I took in practice, I was practicing to be perfect in what I was going to do when it came to playing on Sundays. As a matter of fact, you think there's any coincidence that Tanner McKee looking like shit so far in the preseason and Hurts throwing 13 picks? You think that's just a coincidence, right? Do you? You guys think that's a coincidence? Tanner McKee plays like shit, and Hurts has 13 interceptions. What do you make of that? Curious just what you think. Is it a coincidence? What do you think? Nothing? Here's an excuse machine. So, Tanner McKee looks like shit, and Hurts has thrown 13 picks. Nothing, right, Sig? Nope. That's a wide receiver problem, along with the new offense. Look at what this guy just did. Here's an excuse for Hurts. Nope. It's on the wideouts, and it's the new offense. You're already starting. Here is right here. Let me read this. Even Vic said he's trying new things and testing the scheme. He added, it won't go into the season. So wait a minute. McKee looks like shit and Hurts has thrown 13 picks. Okay. Okay. As a matter of fact, I never heard him say it won't go into the season. That was made up. Do you think it's a coincidence Brady adopted the philosophy when Bill would replay any screw up in the film room 20 times while telling him how terrible it was in front of the entire team? Yeah. He called Tom Brady out more than any other player in the 20 years in New England because every player was afraid of Bill. If you can call Tom Brady out, you can call anybody out. They don't call players out in Philly. They get hall passes. It's all right. Style of coach. Does Hurts have a habit of throwing INTs in games for the past years? Because I don't think so. Because Hurts has never been asked to throw consistency outside of 1 year. When the year he did, he had a ton of turnovers. The 1 year you asked him to throw a lot, he was awful at it when it came to turning the ball over. 6 fumbles, 15 INTs, 17 games. First 4 games in 2024 with high volume passing, he had another 7 turnovers. So when you've asked him to throw the ball more, yeah, you have to had a turnover. He was a turnover machine. Kyle, do me a favor, Kyle. Because Eagle fan here, I think, has selective memory. Do me a favor. How many INTs and fumbles did Hurts have in the first 4 games in 2024 when they were still throwing the ball 32 times a game? Got rid of AJ, then the quarterback play plummeted. Stevie Wonder could see the connection. If they can't run the ball, that offense is cooked. Dude, theoretically, though, if any offense can't run the ball, they're cooked. Let's see here. Shill's 13 pick means Mannion might have an issue getting them to understand the reads and cues. Okay? McKee is the gauge because he's been fairly efficient. Oh, wait a second. Kellen Moore couldn't turn the offense around in 2024 in the passing game. But once again, a guy who's never called plays well. Got it. Here's a take for him. Kellen Moore was the head football coach and had 2 number 1 offenses. Couldn't turn the offense around, but Sean Mannion will. Try that for a take. Without AJ. Kevin O'Connell said, who respect as an evaluator of quarterback talent, you have to fail in practice. Sometimes, my point, the 13 picks of a new scheme, wouldn't we rather him do that in practice? Sure. Let's see here. New scheme, new year. We need workout. We need to work the kinks out. So you're working the kinks out in a Super Bowl window year. You're working the kinks out. And you haven't worked them out yet as of August 26th. And you don't even know where your coordinator's calling plays. These are solid takes, dude. Seriously, you guys need to up your responses because you sound pathetic. So I'm okay with it. If more turnovers mean taking more chances to score 30, 35 touchdowns and 10 to 12 interceptions will make this offense dual threat again. Okay. You throw 35 touchdowns, 10 to 12 picks, it's got to be all good with that. Let's see. Let's get past Reyes because they're stupid takes. Here we go. Sales picks with Hurts is to be expected because he's a 7-year rookie. McKee played well under more KP limited sampling. This preseason raises eyebrows. Okay. Hey, by the way, anybody tell me what the number was in the first 4 games for turnovers, INTs, and fumbles for Jalen when they were still throwing the ball? Hopefully Mannion implements more motion. But Denny, they tried more motion in 24 and it didn't work. Now you're going to try more motion with a wide receiver you drafted in the first round who can't play out of the slot? And the only other guys you're going to do it with is Dontavian Wicks and Elijah Moore? And the guy so far hasn't shown that he can play out of any other place but out of the slot or some gimmick backfield play? These are wild takes today. I mean, these are really wild takes. Some of this stuff. Battle Royale will join us. That's going to be at 4:30. If we are being honest, Game 1 Washington was both new coordinators, same with the Giants. Dallas prays they can stop someone sometime this year. Oh, so what? We'll see with Dallas. Did someone mention Kevin O'Connell? That guy should have been fired a while ago. Why? 14 wins. Last year, quarterback carousel. Guy put a shitty quarterback on his football team. And in 2 years as being head coach, Kevin O'Connell's won 23 games. That's bad. Shit, the Jets would die over that. Guys averaged 11 wins over the last 2 years. And you want to fire him? And he turned Darnold around. I mean, he turned Darnold around. Let's see here. He let a Super Bowl QB walk. Not only that, but he let Daniel Jones go, who was on the practice squad. Okay, here we go. First 4 games, 3 picks, 2 fumbles. Okay? In 2023, he had 15 interceptions, 17 ball games, and 6 fumbles. First 4 games, he had 18 picks and 8 fumbles. Okay? That's 26 turnovers in 21 ball games. That's why they pivoted. This guy was turning the football over every fucking game. For 21 ball games. That's why they pivoted. Still, from a fan's perspective, I like it because it will prepare him for the season and make him change his decision when passing. Okay? So, if you think that that's going to improve, how do you know the play caller's good? You're assuming that the play caller is going to be effective enough to help Jalen the first month of the season, right? Okay. What do I make of it? He doesn't have DeVonta out there, and he doesn't have Makai Lemon out there. He's trying to implement a new offense with Elijah Moore, Ontavian Wicks, and Darius Cooper. Guys who are not going to be the focal points. Or maybe they are. Because Lemon can't get on the field. Dude, if DeVonta Smith, and let's go here. I'm going to say something to you about the Green Bay offense. There was never a big-time wideout except for the tight end in that offense up there. And Watson was never healthy. Maybe he would have been a grand receiver. Maybe not. To sit there and think that DeVonta Smith is not going to be force-fed the ball like A.J. Brown was, and you're going to be one-dimensional again, and you're going to try to tell me that these other guys are going to pick up the water to spread the offense around? That's quite a putt for dudes that are cast-offs from other teams. I mean, to sit there and think DeVonta Smith's going to have 1,500 yards? Here, if DeVonta Smith has 1,500 yards this year, you're back to square one like you were a year ago with AJ. You need to have, you know what would be a great year for DeVonta Smith? 1,000 yards, 90 catches, 10 touchdowns. Because that would mean everybody else got involved. If that guy has 1,500 yards, nobody else is getting fed the ball. And it's going to be quite a look. Yeah, man, I got to tell you. You see, I'm not a sideline reporter. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a sports talk guy who's been doing this a long time. You can make all these bullshit comments you want about Makai Lemon. I don't see it. And you know what? I'm going to take that as a former player because most of the times when you see a great player get on the field, you go, yeah, that's it. Like when they saw DeVonta on the field, what do you think they spent? 20 minutes going, that guy can play. That guy's a great player. I mean, when you see Jamar Chase or you saw Malik Neighbors, yeah, those guys are good. Okay? Yeah, no. Hey, listen, I truly pray this guy turns out to be somebody for you. Until otherwise noticed, I'm going to just say this. Hey, man, I sure hope he does something. Because right now, I pray he's just going to turn out to be Jeremy Maclin. And is that going to be good enough? Dude, you know what Gary Cobb told me that was the most disappointing thing from last night? He was in the booth. You know what he said? That guy can't get off the line of scrimmage. I'm not even freaking talking about his hands. I'm talking about separation and getting off the line of scrimmage. That's basic 101 wideout. I don't know. All right. Without further ado, the last dress rehearsal will be this week. And I'm going to ask Big Z right out of the gate here. Without further ado, Big Z joins us now here on the program. Appreciate you coming aboard. By the way, Big Z, how's your studio coming along?
Good, man. It's getting there. I'm not quite there yet, but it's getting there. It's been good, though, to prepare for everything. I'm excited for the big year, Big Sills.
You think they should play Makai Lemon in this last preseason game?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? No question. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this guy's not even slotted as your top two receivers right now. What are you holding them for? I don't even see it. I don't even see a reason to keep him out. I mean, it's not like it's not like you didn't sign Dontavian Wicks. You know, I mean, he should absolutely be on the field. There's no doubt about that to me. I don't know if they'll put him out there, but I can't see why they wouldn't. I mean, the guy's going to get no working before his first rookie campaign. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell, I think, played in the preseason his first year. So I think he's got to get out there. Now, maybe if there's still concerns on the hamstring, he wouldn't get out there, but he should definitely be out there for sure.
Z, what's your takeaway on him so far? Where are you on August 26th on Makai Lemon right now?
I'm trying to not go overboard. I mean, it's dude, you've been covering the league a long time. You can't write a player off in the preseason of his very first season. I don't think the signs have been great so far, but you know, maybe he's a gamer. Maybe he goes out there and just play. You know what I mean? I got to wait and see a little bit, but you know, I'm not overly encouraged for his first year in Philly, if that makes sense. I'm not ready to say anything about it, you know, a big grandiose proclamation on the player or the career, but I don't think he's going to be as big of an impact in year one as the Eagles were hoping he would be.
Do you think this is a fair take by me? You've lost the benefit of the doubt, and you have to go prove it to me that you can be a part of something that they're going to count on this coming season. And we'll worry about years 2, 3, and 4. I'm worried about 2026. You got the benefit when you were drafted because you drafted 20th. You got the benefit because of what you did in college when you were at Southern Cal.
Right.
Doesn't that shit erode after a while?
Yeah, I mean, but you know, I think every rookie doesn't really get the benefit, to be honest with you.
DeVonta did.
Well, no, DeVonta didn't.
You didn't. I'll tell you what. When DeVonta, I was
wrong. But why did DeVonta had the benefit? Not because he was a first-round pick. DeVonta got the benefit. Why? Because he was a good football player.
Because Gary Cobb said when he saw him in camp the first day, he went, "Holy shit, that guy's a."
That's the same thing John McMullen said. Okay. So DeVonta's benefit did not come to him because of being a first-round pick. It came to him because he was a good player. You know what I mean? And that's what I think earns you the benefit. I don't think it has anything to do with the first-round pick. I mean, that obviously gives more people more of a reason to want to give the benefit. But I think it should be the opposite. Like, if you think about it, first-round picks get less of the benefit. If you're a fourth-round pick and you're having a slow camp, all right, I'll give you the benefit. You got a little time. We'll give you some time. You're a first-round pick, it's like there's almost less benefit of the doubt to me given to you. And Makai's got to go out there and play. That's what it comes down to. He's got to go out there and prove he can be something and do something for this team. Until I see that, I think it's fair of you to say, yes, you're not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
How about this, too? I think the troubling thing is when you read his NFL pre-draft profile is exactly what it says. Competitive, but ordinary after the catch. Needs a runway to break off comebacks once out of the drive, which means he struggles getting out of and off the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, Z, I'm not even talking about his freaking hands. I'm talking about getting into the route. I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's the concern, because he wasn't drafted, Seals, because he's fast or he's got strength or size. I mean,
where I'm going here is that means you can't move him around like you initially thought you were going to into Y and Z. He's basically in the slot for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in the slot for a reason. Is because you struggle rounding off routes. And you're better in space, and you're better without somebody in your face. I don't know. Hey, listen, I think you're right. August 26th, I got to tell you, man, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. And then you combine that with the fact that the guy behind him is not very good so far. Whew, man.
Well, I mean, I think the other thing that's heightened here is they traded away AJ. So that's not obviously, changed the perception of him, or the expectation of him rather, as a rookie as compared to other people. Like, for example, Jordan Davis was drafted higher and had lower first-year expectations because you had Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave in front of him. So everybody gave, okay, let's give Jordan some time. Say, you don't get that with Makai, because imagine if AJ was here and they drafted Makai. Then what would the expectation be? You'd be looking at Jahan Dotson's numbers last year, and you'd say, all right, let's see. Hopefully Makai Lemon can be more than Jahan Dotson, who put up 262 yards last year. So I think that's a part of it too.
All right, Z, let me go to Jalen. 13 picks in camp so far, 2 last night. What do you take away is that? What do you make of that?
Is it camp, or is it the new offense? Is it accuracy? Is it
the receivers?
The receivers. I'm not going to go crazy on it, dude. Honestly.
So do you think there's any coincidence that McKee sucks and Hurts has 13 picks?
No, but what I don't think we can do is expect them to change the offense, change the style of the passing game, put Jalen in a position and in an offense he's never run before, and then also expect him in training camp, the period to actually get acclimated, to not turn the ball over or to be perfect in camp. I think it's like Mannion. It's like the same concept of, don't hire a first-year guy if you're unwilling to give him first-year leeway. Don't make Jalen in a new offense in year 6, if you want him to have a perfect training camp. So, it's a number to keep an eye on, but I think it's more comes down to the offense for me and what that is. But
how much do you put the Vic Fangio factor on that too?
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, I've seen Patrick Mahomes in jail from this defense.
Right. I'm saying I'm adding.
I
want to add all of it.
That's fair point. I mean, Vic's got a great defense. He's got great cornerbacks. Maybe the most talented group of corners he's had. Probably not more than 24, but arguably pretty close. I think Quignon's better now than he was as a rookie. And Woolen is spotty. I'm not going to say he's better than Slay, but Slay was obviously at the tail end of his career at that point. So, that's a part of it.
Your back six is as good as anybody in the league with Campbell, Bond, Q, Akuba, Cooper, and with Woolen. That's a really good back six. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the pass game, there's not going to be a lot of zones out there that are going to be big. There are going to be a lot of tight window throws when you're playing that kind of defense with that kind of talent. Plus, with the size of the defensive front and the front that you have, that's a tough putt to try to like install a new offense against a defense like that that's also getting better. So there's some context to all of that. And you're not playing with a group of wide receivers any longer that are A+. You're playing with C+ guys. And when DeVonta's out there, he raises it to a B-. You've been playing with A guys for 4 years. You're down now a notch.
Yeah, I mean, and look, that's definitely a part of it. But I also think at the same time that with the expectations of, forget what expectations are that are too big for fans, which I think happens a lot. I think whenever you're an elite and a starting quarterback and deemed a franchise quarterback of a football team, I mean that's just part of the burden. You know what I mean? Like nobody's going to look at you and say, all right, well, your receivers are a little bit worse than they were last year. So, okay, it doesn't matter what you do this year. Nobody's doing that for any other big quarterback. Now, people do it outside of those cities, I'm sure. But, look, if you want to say that Jalen is the franchise and an elite player, I'm fine with that. But then hold him to that standard. That doesn't mean it's not harder for him. But it also means that he's got to do more to overcome those obstacles. And I think in a way the organization has put that on him, because why else would they get rid of A.J. Brown in the middle of A.J. Brown's prime, in the middle of this team's prime, if they didn't feel as though Jalen would be good enough to carry the water for the rest of the team, or Saquon or those guys. But I think the buck stops with Jalen, and that's the most important guy in the room. And, that when you're the most important guy in the room, you have to bear that burden. So I think that's just a part of it.
Tell me what you think of Nick Sirianni. Has he done every single thing?
Wait, real quick though, dude. I mean, like Yoshi says this. Part of the burden, who's winning with nobody's on offense? Yoshi. Really?
Kyle Shanahan.
Wait. Really, Yoshi? Is that what you believe about the Eagles offense? They got a bunch of nobodies.
It's not nobody's.
They spent the 10th pick in the draft on DeVonta Smith. They have the number 2 overall pick in Saquon Barkley. They have Lane Johnson, who's going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They have Jordan Mailata. I mean, dude, come on. Like, if you want to say it got worse, fine. Nobody's on offense? Nobody's on offense? Wake up!
I don't say that.
Come on, man.
I don't say that either. So, I mean, I do think it's older, and I think the health is a question mark. But look,
yeah, but it's not. Nobody.
I could make the argument that the Eagles have the 2 best offensive tackle tandems in the league, with Lane when healthy, and with Mailata. Okay, I'm starting to go down that lane though. I think the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have closed the gap on you.
Where?
In the O-line.
Well, I never thought their O-line was bad, honestly. I mean, they were. I think that's probably fair. But
2 years ago, I thought it was not.
Yeah,
that
I agree. I mean, I think the Eagles have more come back a little bit on the O-line. I think Dallas and incoming everybody crying up a storm because you talk honestly about a team in the division. I think Dallas has actually done more on their defense than I thought. I was looking at it today, and they have Rashawn Gary. They added, who else did they add? They got Caleb Downs. They got Von Miller. They have somebody put out a list of all the acquisitions that the Cowboys made, and I think they have a long way to go to be a middle of the pack defense. But I think they did get better good enough, improved enough to be a top 20 defense. If you have a tremendous coaching performance, I could see a top 15, top 12. But, Downs is a great player. You got some guys coming off the edge now for him. You obviously have a strong interior.
I think they're better inside with Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary.
Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary. I mean, they got some dudes there. I mean, it's not a bunch of nobodies. Maybe there's some dudes that are past their prime, obviously in Von Miller and stuff, but they're clearly trying to piecemeal the approach a little bit more so they don't have the superstar of Michael Parsons, but they do have some other guys on that team. So I don't think Dallas is ready to win the division yet, unless the Eagles struggle in their head-to-head matchups versus Dallas and lose both of them. I have a hard time believing that the Cowboys are ready to win the division. But look, they were the best offensive football last year. That was a legit offense. So
I don't believe that anybody's going to sweep anybody. I think it's going to be a standard split.
Yeah, I could see that
this year, and it's going to come down to those other teams that it's going to win the division this coming year. So I want to play a small game with Zander Krause. I want Big Z to pretend that he is the head football coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Zander, who would you play at the number 3 wide receiver if you were going to play the Commanders on Sunday? Who would Zander Krause line up? He's trying to figure out where I'm going.
No, listen, I'm not trying to figure out where I'm going. I'm actually trying to gauge, do I trust the process that I had as an organization that led me to draft Makai Lemon with the 20th overall pick? Do I trust that process? Because you don't just make that pick on a whim. Or do I trust what I've seen in a lying off season where Darius Cooper performed well in summer? Because if you trust the process of the draft pick, then I think you want to see Makai almost fall flat before you don't give him that opportunity. But I also think he hasn't been out there, and Darius seemingly is the better player right now to go and win a game on Sunday. If I was the head coach of the team, I'd probably play Cooper. If I was the general manager of the team, I'd probably phone down and say play Makai.
Okay, so I was told that the Philadelphia Eagle practice matters. Practice is a big part of the evaluation for the players, right?
I mean, it matters.
So you're going to tell me that no, I'm not saying you are, but evaluation of a player in a draft matters more than the context of practicing, going out there and putting the reps in, and that matters more when the front office calls? Now, I know what it does. Wait a minute. Now, I want to ask you this question. Who do you think they're going to play?
Yeah,
the 3 wide receivers in the open against the Commanders. I think they're going to play Lemon.
I do. But don't you have to understand, I mean, and I get it, it's pro football. There's no time for this. But, like, dude, for example, I'll try and equate it to you and I, what you and I do. When you first started on JAKIB, we went through the process to negotiate. Oh, you had to take a career jump to talk in Philly. If the first 10 shows didn't go good, you weren't about to be like, let's unplug.
No.
You know what I mean? So I think that was my point about Lemon in the process. Like, you go through this process and you figure out the guys you want to invest a first round draft pick on. You do that on Makai Lemon. He tweaks a hammy, and now you're going to pull the plug early in year one. I don't know I could see the other side of that as well. Like, let me see it through here. I made the investment. I went through the rigmarole to do this. I want to see it through. I'm not going to bail on it before it even begins.
I love this conversation because I'll show you why it undermines a coach's authority.
It does, but
here's the case. So I tell you guys to practice as hard as you possibly can each and every single day, and that every rep matters. Every rep is on tape, and every single thing you do. So Darius Cooper works his ass off, and he just utterly works his ass off for 3 months, OTAs, minicamp. And all of a sudden, I have to go to that player and go, hey, because we made an evaluation, a high evaluation on Makai Lemon, all that fucking work you did matters nothing to me. I've got to play this guy over that guy. How does that help your quarterback when it comes to evolving your offense and giving your quarterback the best players you could possibly play.
Oh, yeah.
And on the other side of that, that's what Vic does.
I think you're right, but coaches play a one-game thing, and GMs play a 3-year game.
Listen, I'm battling with you over something that goes on.
I think you're right. I just don't think I don't think the solution. Guys, does everybody like the Eagles' success?
Yes.
This is the setup here. The GM and the owner have more say than the head coach. They had it with Doug Peterson and the second Doug tried to flex a muscle, boom, he was kicked out of here. Nick is more unwilling to flex those muscles. He's not going to get that type of leeway with the Super Bowl or not. And that's the Eagles setup. That's the organization. I don't think you're getting around that. But again, I do go back to even if you have a problem with that setup, it does make some sense to me from a sense of it's not like you're putting DeVonta Smith on the bench to get Makai Lemon out there. All right, Cooper did some nice things. He's an undrafted guy. He did some nice things in training camp. Let me see my first rounder fail before I default to Darius Cooper.
So the draft pick matters to you where he's taken.
I don't think it's not about where he was taken. It's about the belief,
your process,
and the quality of player that I presume the Eagles believed they were getting. I don't think they drafted somebody in the first round, like that and think, oh, we drafted a guy who, who's a stiff, or who Darius Cooper will be better than. Let's hope he can play. I think they thought this is a good guy. That they have, a scout team that's as big as anybody's team in the NFL. Howie's hit on all his first round picks recently. So I think that process supersedes the need to feel as though Cooper has to get out there. As much as I like Cooper, I'm just saying I can understand it.
So you would go more with Howie's evaluation of a player than Nick's evaluation of a player. Because if Nick went and said we need to play him, Howie's evaluation.
Nick is a different goal. Nick is trying to win week to week. So Cooper probably does give you the better chance to win week to week. I think for this reason more than any. He's been working with Jalen Hurts all summer.
That's the chemistry thing, yes.
Chemistry, right? I mean, I forget the talent for a second. The quarterback is more comfortable with that guy. He knows where he's going to be. He knows the way he runs routes. He knows the way he plays ball. He knows where to put the football, for him in his catch radius. He knows how he plays. Lemon, I don't think that they're there yet with that. So, I think that's a part of it. But again, you can't abandon the process too quick.
I want to bring something up. And by the way, I am not in any way whatsoever, and I swear to this on my God, I am not taking a shot so much at Jeffrey Lurie here. I'm taking a shot at the entire NFL. So they're going to induct him into the Hall of Fame. And, maybe it's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, but what is the process for that? I'm going to induct myself into the Hall of Fame.
I always thought that was for players, front office guys, and coaches. That,
what? Isn't Bob Kraft?
So what do you want to congratulate Jeffrey Lurie for? Being committed to winning?
You ever seen that? Is it Snoop Dogg? Is it Snoop Dogg that did that?
Hey, let's have a Hall of Fame here, and let's me and you induct.
You ever see that Snoop Dogg segment or where he's at the podium and he said, "I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for never doubting me." And that kind of what it reminded me of. Jeffrey Lurie's like, "I'm going to put myself in the Eagles." I to be fair, he probably is, an Eagle Hall of Famer for sure. He's the most successful owner we've ever had.
Oh yeah, he's your best owner.
Yeah. So, but. That's pretty fun.
I just always thought that those Hall of Fames were more for the players, the coaches, and the front office guys. Because thanking an owner for winning, wanting to win.
You're the one who proclaims every day that the Eagles have success in spite of their head coach and quarterback. It's all because of the guy in his suit and his little bunched up 28 size pants.
Put Howie in. I'm in there with that.
Come on, Sills.
Wait a minute. So here, I want to thank me for being committed to winning. I want to thank me for hiring the right coaches. Hey, I want to thank me for making sure our fans have a great experience at Lincoln Financial. Hey, well, wake me up here, man. Congratulations. You fucking were a good owner. You want a pat on the back for that? Oh, I saw that. I remember. I think that was at the MTV Awards. He said that. Either that or the
says
Grammys.
This is an iconic quote by Snoop Dogg, by the way. I
saw it live.
Last but not least, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for being a giver and trying to give more than I receive. I want to thank me for trying to do more right than wrong. I want to thank me for just being me at all times. Snoop Dogg, you a bad mother effer.
You bet, man. I love Snoop Dogg.
That's a classic freaking quote, dude.
He is, man. I love that guy. He's all good, man. All right, so I got another one here, a couple more here for you. I ranked the 5 best defenses in pro football, and I didn't put them with any order or any number. I think these are the 5 best rosters and the 5 best defenses. I got Rams, and they're not in any order. I got Rams, Texans, Eagles, Seahawks, and the Broncos. Those would be my 5 best defensive football teams.
Rams, Eagles, Texans, Seahawks, and Broncos?
Yeah. You could make an outlier for the Chargers, maybe.
I was thinking them, but I think your 5 is probably right. I'm a little more hesitant on Houston just because of the offense, but their defense is obviously sick. And the Eagles are only in there really probably because of their defense.
Well, they're better than you at edge. You're better than them at the tackle position, the Texans. I think the linebacking core is pretty good. The secondary, I think the Texans a little bit are better. Both corners are first-team Pro Bowlers. Oh, wait, I think Lassiter's second team, excuse me. So it's pretty close. And I do think that Vic gives him the edge. And even though I love D'Amico Ryans as a coordinator, I think D'Amico's a hell of a defensive-minded coach. But
he's a great coach.
Hunter and Anderson are better than anything the Eagles have. I mean, then again, they're the best duo, I think, in the league. I mean, both those guys were over double-digit sacks last year. They were both Pro Bowl guys. So, but yeah, I think you're better interior-wise. I think Seattle's pretty good. Well, I'll tell you what, man. That Rams defense, Zander, they're pretty good on every level.
Yeah, they're a good team. I mean, I think the concern with the Rams is probably like age, just from like Stafford's older.
By the way, you could rank them at the. I think these are your 5 guys. You can rank them probably anywhere.
Man, I keep forgetting they got Myles Garrett. God.
And who else? Remember who they got in the secondary?
Yeah, the Trent McDuffie. They went out and added that too. You guys added Woolen. They added McDuffie. See, and they added Garrett. Yeah, we had a better corner group to start though.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they didn't have a Quinion over there,
and your backers are better than the Rams.
Yeah,
I don't think the Rams are exceptional there. I think they're okay there.
I mean, look, that's going to come down. If Stafford,
you know where I think Dallas is going to suffer mightily at corner 2. I think Laurent Bland. I think Laurent Bland is. I think he's cooked, dude. And I wouldn't be shocked if they go out and try to find a corner.
I think the Seahawks signed Trayvon Diggs, didn't they?
Hey, did anybody sign Teron Arnold? Was that Seattle? Seattle signed him?
No, I don't think it was. It.
Did Teron Arnold sign with them?
No. He didn't sign yet.
He hasn't signed yet. Okay. That's going to be interesting to
see. There's a lot of contradictory reports about this. Yahoo Sports says Terrion Arnold's move to Seahawks takes new turn as Super Bowl champions remain unbothered over contract. What does that mean? This one says Seahawks reportedly expected to finalize a deal with Terrion Arnold.
Yeah, because I don't see him on the depth chart.
He's not there yet.
No, I have.
They did sign Trayvon Diggs, right?
Yeah, yep. He's backing up Witherspoon. He's backing up Witherspoon. Yes.
Yeah, so he signed with the Seahawks.
Hey Z, tell me this: why do you think DeVonta Smith is going to have a gigantic year when nobody in Green Bay has ever had a big year in that offense? Is it just because they've never had a player like DeVonta there?
Wait, who's going to have a big year?
DeVonta.
Well, they have had a player there have a big year.
Who?
AJ at 1,500 yards.
No. I'm talking in Green Bay. If you're running a Green Bay offense.
Oh. You're talking about with the new offense. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different group of players. I don't think Green Bay has a guy like that. I mean, they have more of a bunch of dudes as opposed to a guy.
Their go-to guy's Tucker.
Yeah, and they have
Christian Watson. They got
that's what I mean. They don't have
they got dudes.
Yeah, they don't have as much of a top end talent, I don't think, in Green Bay. But they are more of a spread offense. I mean, that's where I think Mannion's going to have some flexibility. Like, you're not going to come here and spread the ball to 3 and 4, and take targets away from DeVonta Smith. I mean, if you want to spread them out and take some away from Wicks, all right, I'm fine with that. But you're not taking targets away from DeVonta Smith. That to me seems dumb.
Let me ask you this. So do you think you have a better wide receiving core than Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Matthew Golden with DeVonta Smith, Dontavian Wicks, and Makai Lemon? You think you have a better?
I think they're pretty similar. I mean, okay. I think DeVonta is the best of the group, though.
Yeah, no. But as a group, I mean, do you think?
I mean, it depends. Is Lemon a first-round pick? Is he a good first-round pick? I mean, they used the first-rounder on Golden, didn't they?
Okay, put Elijah Moore in there. I don't care who you put in there. Who do you? I mean, you really think that? I mean, like here's where the offense has really walked back a little bit in personnel. You used to have that advantage going into every ball game, right? Well, let's go into the first game of the year, and I'll re-ask this question to you. Do you believe that you're a better group than Terry McLaurin, Stephon Diggs, and Luke McCaffrey with DeVonta Smith, Dontavian Wicks, and Makai Lemon?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't think they're. Look, they have a lot more to prove. Is that fair?
Yeah.
They are way more unproven. I mean,
I'm not making an indictment. I'm just asking a question here.
Yeah, I think they're way more. They're not proven, and Devontae's the only one who is proven there. Wicks has been what, a 4? He was a 4.
Yeah.
Was he a 4? Is that what he was last year?
Yeah, he was the 4th or 5th, depending on whatever. So this Rams team, you think you're better than Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and Jordan Whittington?
No, I mean, you're obviously not better than Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I mean, Devontae Adams is the fear with not fear, but he's got to stay healthy. He's what, 32 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he was a hell of a player in his prime. That was probably my favorite receiver when he was in his prime.
Yeah, my point is, Z, you don't have that advantage that you used to going into every ball game.
He's 33, dude.
And he still led the NFL in touchdown catches last year.
14. He only had 789 yards.
I know.
Only had 60 receptions, too, but he's a sick player. He was unreal in his freaking prime. I remember. I was so pissed off. I'll never forget where I was. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, you guys could check me on this. I was at the Maxwell Awards when it broke, but I think the Devontae Adams, either a trade or a sign to the Raiders after his Packer career, was the same day that Deshaun Watson got his contract in Cleveland signed. Because remember, that thing was such a long saga. Everybody was waiting for it to end. I'm pretty sure both of those deals happened on the same day. And I remember being like, man, my favorite receiver going to freaking Oakland or Vegas, that sucks. So, because I thought they sucked and they turned out to suck.
Let me ask you inside the NFC East. DeVonta Smith, Dontavian Wicks, Elijah Moore, or Makai Lemon versus CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Ryan Florno.
Well, they got the better top two. I mean, they have a better top two for sure. So when you have guys that are that good at the top two, I mean, you could make an argument, a pretty easy argument, that CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are both top 10 receivers.
Oh yes,
yeah. I mean, that whenever you have two guys at the top like that, that's gonna weight the entire scale of the evaluation. So yeah, I'd say Dallas is a better receiving group right now.
How about the Giants? Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, and Darnell Mooney.
I'm going to take the Eagles there. I like Neighbors a lot, but he is coming off a big injury. I I'm not a big Slayton and Mooney guy. I don't think they're all that great to me. They're
I'm
like
not
guys.
a dark guy for sure.
And I'm definitely not a dark guy. I haven't been a dark guy since he came into the league. But I think the Eagles are better there.
Zander, in 2026, who's going to be the very best defensive football player in the Philadelphia Eagles by the end of the year?
I think Quinyon or Carter. Those are my two. Those are my two picks.
Prediction. Ready?
Let me guess. Cooper. No. All right. Who you got? Hunt?
Felix Hunt.
That's a big
I'm so wrong on him.
You weren't wrong. I mean, you just said I want to wait and see. The guy's at a Houston Baptist, and he's been an edge rusher for like a year of his life.
And he was a corner when he was in
safety.
Like,
yeah,
he was a safety. 2 years, 3 years.
You're ready to say he's going to be the best player in this defense?
He gets better every fucking practice. Gary Cobb says every time he gets on the field, he just shines, dude.
I could see it. It's not that crazy. I mean, I could see it. I think Carter and Q will be better, though. I mean, I think Quinyon Mitchell's – I get it. It's a zone. It's not as much of a lockdown. I think Quinyon Mitchell is –
You realize that's why he doesn't have a lot of picks.
I do realize that. But I think that dude is certified. I mean, I think he could be in any system, I think he would thrive.
He could play press.
I think he is just a freaking beast of a cornerback. I think I could easily make an argument, in my opinion, he's the best corner in football right now. He probably won't get that nod because he doesn't play press, but I'm a big Quinyon Mitchell fan. And Carter, we got to see it, but we all saw what Carter can do when he does play. So you got to wait. If that beast is awoken, that's going to be a tough dude to block.
I'll tell you something else too, boy. There's no question come next year, I think the first guy out the door, if that Hunt plays like I think he's going to, Nolan Smith will be involved in some type of package trade to try to get more equity picks in the 2027
probably because they'll have the fifth-year option on him. Yeah,
because he's not a bad football player.
No, and it's a cheap fifth-year option. Remember, so people won't shy away from the fully guaranteed because it's $14 million. So, yeah, I think that could happen. I mean, I'm still. If Nolan is good this year, I don't see why you wouldn't let him play it out. You'll probably get a third-round comp pick back when he walks, if he has as good of a year as we think. And then think about the depth they could have at defensive end next year with the defensive tackles. I mean, if Grenard is, let's just say he gets back healthy and Jalix becomes what you just projected he might become, and then you have Nolan as your 3 next year. I mean, dude, you're talking about a team that's a Super Bowl contender for the next 2 seasons. Forget the fluctuations on the offense. That defense is going to be, you're not going to be able to play versus that defense. They're going to be suffocating. So I would pause before I traded away Nolan.
Okay, fair enough. See how it plays out towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I'd rather hold him and get the comp pick.
See, I made a comment about something Nick said yesterday. I'm going to throw this at you here. So when I was cut 3 times by the Bucs, Cowboys, and the Lions, my head football coach was in the room, called me in the room and said, this is why we're going here. This is why we're doing this. You're the last player cut. Okay, back then you only kept 47. So Howie's in the room with Nick when he makes the cuts? Why?
Well, because Howie controls the roster. Why? We debate this 4 times a week.
I hate that rule.
Well, you're the one who gives him Howie all the credit for the success.
But I owe Howie nothing. I owe Nick, my coaches, and Vic. Who do you think Vic owes? Who do you think Zach Bond would say he's more loyal to? Vic or Howie?
Vic.
Okay. Because Vic turned him into that player to earn the $17 million.
Yes.
Okay. So when I have a coach that I feel loyal to,
you do. I get your point. But this is Philly. This is the setup.
I'd be like, who's the short guy in the room? I mean, what's he doing here?
And Howie would say, I'm the dude who assembled you 2 Super Bowl rosters, you caboose.
Okay.
Go turn on the National Football Show. He thinks you're a stiff, and I'm the reason for the success.
No.
I've been thinking something recently. You know, we always say the Eagles hate this show. I think Howie secretly puts on this show and it's almost like pump up music to him because Sileo's like they're the winningest team in football the last 4 years, and the coach and the quarterback have nothing to do with it. I think Howie Roseman loves this.
Okay,
program.
well, I would say this to Howie. Well, it really goes down to their behavior. They interchange coaches and change out coaches. They don't change front office people out. They change head coaches. They change assistant coaches. Look at your offensive assistant coaching room. There's only one guy that's been in the room as long as Nick. You know who that is? It's the wide receiver coach.
Yeah.
Outside of that, and the running back coach. Outside of that, everybody else has been gone 2-3 times. I mean, nobody's there longer than 3 years as a coach. Do you notice that? Except for Nick. They don't believe in coaches. They believe in Howie vision. Hey, one last one here on it. You think that this kid, Makai Lemon Drop, you think this guy is closer to Jalen Reagor, or do you think he's closer to DeVonta Smith?
I think right now he's dead in the middle. That's a wide range. You got like DeVonta's all the way over here, and Reagor's like all the way over here. I think Lemon's right in the middle of the two at this point. All right, but dude, it's early. All right. I mean, I'm not going to count a guy out who's missed all training camp his rookie summer and say, 3 practices doesn't get separation. The guy's a stiff. I mean, I got to give it a little bit of time here on Lemon. But what I am losing confidence in is his first-year contributions to the team. You know, I don't know what they're going to look like. And, again, they're heightened after you get rid of A.J. Brown. But we got to see. We got to see.
So, like, if you go on a date with a chick and it's like –
he's not Reagor, though.
Hold on. When you go on a date with a chick, and if it's not a very good date, the first one, and it's a shitty first date.
Well, define shitty first date.
She's got nothing in common with you, and she does nothing that you have.
Over dinner, and then what? You go home together or what?
Does the first impressions matter? No, well, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah.
I'm saying give your definition of the date.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to end in like the no pants dance.
All right, well then you're not going on date number 2 probably.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just checking. This guy looks like Rod Hill, doesn't he? Hey, Rod Hill, doesn't he? That's a cowboy bust wideout.
Look at Abe. Got to get the money. Pay me, Zander. It's Friday.
Got to get the money.
Abe, if only you knew, dude.
Abe,
I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning on
Abe,
Fridays.
I got the text. If only you knew, Abe.
I got the 4:30 a.m. wake up on Fridays. Hey, asshole! It's Friday. It's Friday. Where's my Sills? It's on auto deposit.
Hey,
It's coming today. I know. Promise.
Hey, Zander's done this now, man. He just puts it on auto. Now it's on
auto.
I
changed it to auto, man.
He just went like this. Fuck this guy. I'm not listening to these.
Oh,
so see, hey, final exhibition game this weekend. That offense, once again, you feel good where they are, or okay where they are?
Well, it's they haven't had a great camp, but we kind of probably should have expected this when they're changing up everything. That's my whole problem with criticizing Jalen on the picks right now. It's like, again, I'll bring up Philly 500. We got the Battle Royale coming up. Looking forward to it. But he brought up a great point last week about Mannion. It's like, if you got a problem with Mannion being a first-year coordinator, then take it up with the organization. You can't give a guy who's a first-year coordinator then not give him any leeway to be a first-year coordinator. You can't change the offense entirely new in the offseason and then expect Jalen Hurts to have no picks in camp like he did a couple years ago, and that also didn't matter. So, he's got some picks. It's all good. I'm not worried about that. I just want the offense to be consistent and effective on early downs. I think that will help them a ton. And, they got to get rid of the things that were overwhelming last year. First down. 3 and outs. I mean, they led the league in 3 and outs last year. You lead the league in 3 and outs. I got news. You're probably not going to be a good team. You're probably not going to be a good offense. So I think if they clean up those things, that defense can be great. And we'll see where they go from there. I'm encouraged though. I don't feel down on the team at the end of camp here. Today was the last day of training camp for practice. I don't feel down on the team at all. I mean, I feel like there's question marks, but I felt like that before training camp. So we got to see if they answered the bell.
Let's get to the supers before we get to the guys.
All right, let's do it. I don't see it. Philly 500's in there, but I don't see him. I don't know if that's
I don't see him yet either.
DQ says, oh, there he is. In Belichick's defense, he did sell his soul to Satan. I don't even know what the hell that means. Here's Alvino. I want to thank Hertz for 4 verts.
Cowboy
Alvino,
fan.
that forehead's a 5-head, bro.
Oh, damn.
The Phillies Ace says, hey, guys, you're the best. How did you con Sills to come to Philly when he didn't even come to celebrate when we won the Super Bowl? Y'all are the best. Yeah, he was trying to avoid beer cans being thrown at his head.
Oh, by the way, security, too. I've got 2 security guys that are going to show up.
Yeah, we're in talks. All right, I gotta add that to the budget. We got some macho security guys to defend Sills.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. By the way,
all.
Hey man, listen, it's gonna be one of the most iconic years since we've been covering this football team because there's a lot of storylines here.
I think it should be a big one, man. And I got optimism. The Eagles will continue to be a good team. But look, more questions this year, more things to answer.
Oh yeah, didn't Philly 500 cry when they drafted Makai Lemon?
Did he? Was it Makai Lemon or was it Staley?
Wait, I thought it was.
Dude, wait a second. One thing about Philly 500,
he's awesome.
Those might turn out to be prophetic tears. And that will be a sad day because that means Makai Lemon will be a stiff. But if he is, everybody will come back to 500 and say,
you were right.
You knew from the jump, my friend. So
you were right. Because if I'm not mistaken, Mark Holmes called him out on it.
Yeah, he did.
And get this. I have a feeling that Philly 500.
Wait, though, I got a video of Holmes crying. I think it's still in here in my video file. Look, here it is.
No.
The way that I do. I sell this shit for Jerry Jones. I am the one that says it's going to be okay. Dak Prescott, he is a top 5 quarterback. I try to tell you, this defense with Dan Quinn is good. I'm the one that makes a lot of you guys believe, and I apologize to you guys for trying to make you believe. Apparently, this shit just can't be fixed. It can't be fixed.
I hate saying it.
And it's killing me. It is killing me.
I see tears there from Mark Holmes.
I'll tell you what, man. Mark Holmes fills that jersey out like Martune. That's a good looking.
Oh, man, that's a shot. Mark, don't take that. That's a low blow.
Hey, I'll tell you what. He looks good in that gear, and that setup looks pretty good here, too. Peel your hat back for me. How you doing?
Come on, Alvino. Stop playing with me, Alvino. All right, so let me get out of here.
Got you, bro. We'll see you in the morning, dude.
All right, dude, later.
Got you, man. That is my boy, Big Z. Who would have thought that Philly 500's first initial reaction when he was upset when the Eagles drafted Makai Lemon would come to a point where he may have been somebody that was and had the insight like a Nostradamus, because this guy looks like a stiff. Without further ado, the #1 content creator for the Dallas Cowboys. He is my friend Mark Holmes. And my friend, he is the #1 creator of all Eagle content, my friend, Philly 500.
You're trying to start problems here, okay? Look, I would love to tell you what a genius I am. I would love to tell you.
You are, Philly.
That's not
you
the
are.
case.
You were right.
It's not the case. I did not cry, and I had not that. My reaction was nothing to do with Lemon.
You were not happy with that pick. Come on, man. You were not.
No, it wasn't. I honestly didn't have an opinion either way. I literally did nothing on wide receivers, like leading up to the draft. I just was in shock because it was like, oh my God, AJ Brown's gone. We're really going to trade this guy. That's where my head was, you know. Unfortunately, when you're right on YouTube, and Mark knows this, you'll never get that credit for it. You'll never get it. I had my most disliked video ever. Derek Barnett drafted. I hated the pick. Most disliked. I got killed. I got killed for it, Sills. And it wound up being right. never heard anybody say anything.
Well,
But
I'm
they
going to
say,
say,
oh, you didn't want Jalen Hurts. You
Philly,
didn't
I'm
want
going to say
Judge
you were
Jefferson.
right. You were right, Philly. I'm going to let you know.
On what?
I applaud you. You were right on the lemon.
Philly,
I can't
hold on,
take credit.
Philly.
I didn't.
Philly,
Wasn't
let
right.
me go here with this. Let me say this to you here on this guy's Lemon. Let me get the money.
It would be wrong of me to take credit.
Let me get the money, like he said the other day here, this kid. He sounds like a dope a little bit too. Anyway, all that being said, you know what the number one thing they're saying that he's having problems with? Getting off the line of scrimmage. Like, and getting into his routes. Listen, there is no doubt it's August 26th. But I got to tell you, the latitude he gets at the 20th player taken, I just asked Zander this question, and I'm going to ask you. If you were the head football coach that had autonomy on who you would start at wideout, who would your three dudes be right now?
It would probably be it'd be DeVonta Smith, Wicks, and if I'm being quite honest, it would probably be either Elijah Moore or Darius Cooper. That's what I would go with personally.
That would be a letdown, right? That's a letdown a little bit, right?
I guess, but it's not saying that he's going to be a bad football player, but it's saying you missed a lot of camp and time, and right now these guys have done more work, and you got to kind of get caught up. And I don't think that's a wrong. Like, I don't think that's wrong for a coach to take that approach there. I don't think it means that you're saying Lemon's bad. But he missed a lot of time. Those other guys have actually looked good. So why shouldn't they go out there and practice, put blood and sweat out there, and then not get a chance to play? But that's not how it works. We know that they're going to play Makai Lemon because he's the first pick at 20. And to me, I'm not saying he's still. I think he's going to be good. I actually do. But I don't think he should play right away.
Mark, I will ask you this. There's been a lot of talking going on in the Dallas Cowboy camp, more talking than we've seen in a long time about these guys coming into the – and you know what? That's okay because now you're widening the bullseye. You're making it even bigger because we're now going on year 11, Mark. I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's year 11 now. Come on now.
Yeah. Go on.
Year 11. We're enough. I mean, we can't keep going down Groundhog Day, can we? It's like watching the movie Groundhog. Every year, we keep talking the same shit. It's Groundhog.
I'm going to put it like Troy Aikman because Troy Aikman, I think it was since the last time we had our show, kind of pointed things. You want to know the problems with the Cowboys? It starts from the top. And I'm going to dare say that Jerry Jones has gotten the hell out of the way and has let football people do football things. And I believe they actually really and truly trust Brian Schottenheimer. They've given him more help and more latitude than anybody since Bill Parcells. And Bill Parcells had to get it fighting tooth and nails and clawing all the autonomy that he had. This team is definitely moving in a different direction than they have in the past. And you're right. It has been way, way too long. I'm not going to say this is year 11. I'm going to say this is year 30. Because we have been close, decent, but never really doing enough to get over the hump. I think they're actually doing it, and I think they've actually done well in the draft, and they found some real players.
Who's going to be your backup quarterback this year?
Ooh, that is, here's where I'm wondering.
And by the way, and why that's an important thing, every other year, Dak Prescott's been injured. So this is important especially when you have CD and you've got George Pickens, you need a
you need somebody that's in there. Now, here's the thing. If you listen to Brian Schottenheimer, he said that Sam Howell was slightly ahead of Joe Milton. Now, Joe Milton looked great against the Cardinals in a preseason game. Let me say again, he looked great against the Cardinals in a preseason game. It's a different story when you're out there actually playing against competent first play, your starters out there. Okay. So I'm wondering if this is a case where the Cowboys are trying to elevate him some more so they can get more of a trade value. I think traditionally they're going to look more at Sam Howell, who is more of the pocket passer as opposed to the wow guy. Brian Schottenheimer kind of put out there. He said, when people were talking about in college he could launch the ball 80 yards. Well, great, go to a carnival sideshow. He said, but in football, you got to have a guy who can make those touch passes in those tight windows and things. It's not about how strong your arm is. Can you make those plays? And so there's the perception that he's won the job, and then there may be the reality of that was just one performance against the Cardinals.
Philly, 13 picks for Jalen Hurts in the preseason. Now, I would put all context. There's no DeVonta out there. But wait a minute.
Come on,
it's not, hold on for a second.
13?
Wait a second. Here's another number.
Come on.
Well, wait a second. Wait. Well, Tanner McKee sucked too this offseason. So, I mean, you don't think there's any coincidence that both quarterbacks have been struggling with the offense because there's no DeVonta out there? I mean, if you don't have DeVonta Smith out there, okay, well then you tell me why we're in a position where, he wasn't great last night. I mean, he had a couple more picks last night. I mean, and listen, I get he's working on new stuff. I'm just asking you what your takeaway is that both quarterbacks haven't performed well in camp.
I actually see both of those guys as two separate situations, right? Jalen Hurts,
but they're being coached by the same guy.
Okay, they're being coached by the same guy, but clearly when you look at Tanner McKee, it seems like something else happened because Andy Dalton has been the backup quarterback more than Tanner McKee has. So, what happened that the Eagles went from having him as the backup to him a third-string quarterback? I wonder if there's not something else going on out there. And I will say this, though. In his behalf, I thought as the game went on and he played against New England, he got better and better. Okay? So, there's that. And then with Jalen Hurts, look, he's working on a new offense. How many of those passes, those interceptions, would he not throw in the game? And he would take the chance because of practice. We don't know those things. I think Jalen has been a little up and down. He's exactly where I thought he would be. It's going to take a while. I think the interceptions this season will go up some, especially early on. But I think there's a lot of good coming out of camp with this offense. I really do.
Okay, so would it be receiver? Would it be coordinator? Would it be the quarterbacks? All of it. So my word to you would be, are you expecting a seamless transition the first 2 months of the season or a bumpy transition?
Probably a bumpy. I do not.
And the defense is gonna have to carry the water.
I think the defense and the run game. The run game has looked great. The offensive line looks really healthy. That run game with the offense, with the defense, is what's going to carry you early, in my opinion, as they adjust. Yeah.
Who plays cornerback number 2? You're not telling me LaRon Bland is going to win that job, are you?
We've had some they've mixed up everything that you don't really have a clue. I think DeVonta Plan still will get the start. Got the contract there.
Hey, dude, that means that Jerry's going to try to make a move then at corner 2.
I wouldn't be surprised. Jerry is, as he keeps putting it, he feels really good about this team that he's, if the right opportunity comes about, they'll go ahead and they'll make that move and pull that trigger. We're sitting here with about $17 million worth of cap space. Von Miller's number only ends up being $3.1 million for the cap hit. So we have some space to do some things.
Absolutely. What will be Sean Mannion's biggest surprise? What will be the most difficult thing for him to have to do this year? Well, but I'll phrase it this way, Philly. What will be the biggest challenge for Sean Mannion this year as the offensive coordinator for the Eagles?
Keeping Nick Sirianni at bay.
Okay.
That is the most challenging because I think Nick has a tendency to want to have influence over the offense. My question is when they're up 24-6 or up big at halftime, is Nick going to go, let's go into that prevent offense? Let's be really, really, secure and throw the ball, forget the throw, just run, try to run the clock out. I think that's the biggest challenge, to have the power from the start of the game to finish of the game without the coach trying to interfere.
You tell me that. How about this here? You tell me if you think that this is like a big issue here for you. I mean, they haven't figured out where he's going to call. This is another week, but
dude, this is the biggest non-issue ever, dude.
Wow, I've never heard. Get this, Mark. I've never heard ever in my entire life they haven't figured out what's best.
He's coming to my house.
I've never
He's right here next to me.
I've never heard such a thing in my entire life, that a coordinator on a Super Bowl contending team doesn't know if he's going to call plays from the booth or from the sidelines. And it's because he's never called plays.
You would think that you would get that out of the way.
And I'm going to take Philly 500, and I'm going to take Philly 500's position on this. Get me the fuck as far away from Nick as possible. Put me in the booth. Why is that even Nick's decision?
Wait. Nick is deciding where he's going to go?
That's what Mannion said. It's going to be a collective coaching decision.
I don't know. I don't know about Nick. I don't think Nick should have an influence on where he feel comfortable calling plays. But I will say this, though, he was up in the booth last week, and I actually liked a lot of things that they did. So,
I'll tell you what he did, Philly, that I thought that was really good. He knew the week previous against Baltimore, the kid stunk. So what did he do? He put him in pistol. He said, look, the kid performs better in pistol. So let me put him in pistol, and let me put him in the shotgun. So Mannion went, hey, he put him in a better position. That's coaching. That's a good move. That's something that made. But by the way, Mark, just to be fair here, on third down over the last 8 quarters, they still are 4 for 20. And against a good football team, Mannion's going to have to manufacture first downs. But to your point, Philly, the offensive line, if you can win first and second down, which they kind of did when they were running the football, you're going to make that third down a lot more convenient for them to be able to have low percentage plays to turn the thing into a first down. Winning first and second down is the biggest thing for them this year.
They're using the short. They're going to use the short passing game way more effectively. Did you see how they used the running? Yeah. They used the running backs. They blitzed and actually threw to a running back. I could not believe it. I have not seen that in 4 years. Okay, they finally did some things like that. Those little things will make a huge difference for this team. Huge difference.
Mark, any surprises on the 53 that will be set on Sunday, in your opinion?
Cameron Brown might be. Everybody has him sold as coming out of nowhere, undrafted rookie free agent and having 2 really good games. But I think he might not quite make it because we are kind of loaded at wide receiver. And as Brian Broadus put it, you don't see a lot of real explosion. Great catcher, gets in good position, but there's not a lot of explosiveness in his game. And that would be a surprise if he doesn't. I will say the biggest surprise, though, on the team is Barham, who got his first action this week, who came out and basically said there's 31 teams out there that he hates. He hates everybody. Dude is like on a mission, 6'3". He is freaking huge, and he's almost like a throwback.
Love it, man. How about this guy here with look at the picture, the 3 stone odds. Look at him there, man. That looks
dude, that's a shirt right there.
That's a shirt right there. That shirt. Look at that.
That's a shirt. I'll wear that.
Mark, I'd wear that too. The 3 stone odds. I'd wear
that shit to me.
Absolutely, I'd wear that. All right.
There you go.
Who will be the best? Wait till you hear who I say will be the best defensive football player at the end of 2026 for the Eagles. I want to hear for Philly 500. Who will be the best defensive football player at the end of the 26th season, and who will have put in the best year, in your opinion?
Oh, man. I really want to say Jalen Hunt. I really do, because I think he's going to be I'm going to say he has the best year, because I think he breaks out. I'm going to say probably Jalen Carter is the best defensive player, and I'm going to say Hunt is the breakout player.
I'm going to say that I said Jalen Hunt's going to be the best defensive football player by the end of the year.
Wow.
Wow.
I think he's a stud.
Dude, if that guy get this, Mark, if he has 12 sacks this year, somebody's going to the back of the bus when it comes to payday come March. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Because you ain't paying $25 million when it comes to
that joint practice was interesting because I've never seen another team tweet out about another guy on a team as much as the Patriot media was talking about Jalen Hunt. That's how much he's been flashing.
Absolutely here. All right. So, Mark, who is Julius Wood? Who's Julius Woods?
Julius Wood. Shit. You got me on that one.
Okay. No, I'm talking about depth level on your football team. The depth level on your football team, in your opinion, how do you think it looks this year going into the season?
This year, we're a hell of a lot better than usual. Usually, we don't have first string guys. When I start looking at it right now, like let's say our defensive ends, I'm not going to say that we have anybody who is of the ilk of Micah Parsons, but collectively, when you look at guys like James Houston, who may be on the cut block, he was a guy that we were looking at to be, a key starter. You got Sam Williams, who might also be on the cut block as well. But adding Von Miller to Makai in there, Makai is looking really good. You got DeVonta EZ, who's been actually playing really, really well if he can just stop hitting people and getting kicked out of practice. And, of course, you got Rashawn Gary. So depth-wise, we're doing pretty good. I still worry about our offensive line depth because Terrence Steele has been kind of up and down, and we really don't have that swing tackle yet. We're still really, really young there. Secondary-wise, we have a lot more depth than we had.
That's why I asked you about Julius Wood. Michael Irvin says that this kid's making kind of a name for himself a little bit there in the depth department, and they like him at safety. Do you think that that's one of your weaker areas, safety, or do you still think it's linebacker or cornerback number 2?
Safety, actually, we're looking at a guy like Malik Hooker, who was a starter last year, who may be on the cut list. I actually the thing is you have players out here that aren't named players that you don't know. And they don't have a name yet until they actually get an opportunity to start actually playing. And the Cowboys feel really good about their safety room right now. In the same way they were talking 2 weeks ago how good they felt about the running back room. And we were kind of like, really? And then you start to see them actually have a lot of guys that now we got a problem of who are we actually keeping?
I want to ask you about DeVonta Smith's numbers this year. I want you to tell me why you think he's going to have a big year when nobody in the history of the Green Bay Packers in that offense that Sean wait, well, that's the offense you're running.
Well, how many years has Green Bay run that offense?
The 2 years he was there, Sean Mannion.
Okay.
Well, listen, I'm not saying they have anybody like DeVonta there. But what I'm saying is, okay, all right. But what they do is spread the football around. And they do have a higher, more proficient passing game than you guys do because as a collective, they're a better unit. My question is, why would I believe that they're going to have one guy being forced to football again like you did for the last 2 years or 4 years? Aren't you back to the same way? Aren't you back to the same thing if you're forcing the football to one guy again?
Yeah, but I don't think – I mean, you saw when they tried to force the ball to A.J. Brown how unnatural it looked. Like it was.
Yeah, but they forced the ball
so
to DeVonta. Yeah, but they forced the ball to DeVonta too during that time. There were 2 guys.
I don't remember
the majority.
The ball to well, I mean, I remember last year DeVonta looking really good early in the year, and then A.J. Brown crying that he wasn't getting enough balls.
Do you not agree?
I remember that.
Do you not agree that the passing game went to 2 guys the last 4 years?
No, I agree with you. I agree with all that. I do. But what I'm saying is I don't think you're going to get the complaining from DeVonta Smith where you're going to have to feel that you have to throw him the ball or else he's going to cry. I don't think he's built that way. And I think he's much more talented than any other receivers that they have on Green Bay. But I do think it's a fair question to ask, besides DeVonta Smith, which guys are going to step up. And that remains to be seen. So, I mean, that's where I think it's more about, to me, the other guys than DeVonta.
Mark, is this the best roster Jerry Jones has made in the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years, without a doubt, yes. When you think about, it's crazy in my mind when I think about Mike McCarthy. The Cowboys, the biggest moves that they made during Mike McCarthy's was bringing in like Brandon Cooks. We ended up letting go guys like Amari Cooper and not replacing them. And you saw more of this philosophy of, less is more, with Brian Schottenheimer bringing in a Quentin Williams. And I dare say the moment that if the Cowboys are successful, we're going to look at Micah Parsons laying asleep on the training table, was the moment that woke up Jerry Jones to say, F this, and actually go out here and really be more about trying to win than being just like a marketing agency.
I'm going to ask both you guys this question. I'll start with you, Mark. Philadelphia Eagles, how many games they win this year?
I'm going to say 8 to 9.
8 to 9. Philly 500. How many games do the Cowboys win this year?
9. I'll say 9.
9 wins.
I'll give them 9.
How many wins do you think you win this year, Mark Holmes?
I'm going to say 11.
11. How many wins do you think the Eagles have this year, Philly?
Between 12 and 14, so I'll say 13.
12 and 14.
Yeah. Yes,
with
sir,
that
100%.
offense, do you think you have a Super Bowl offense?
I do. I think it will develop it that, but I think it's going to be because of the health and return of the offensive line and that run game. I think that's what we'll feed off of. And yes, we will run the ball a lot still. We're not going to go back to what we did, but we're still going to run the ball a lot. People thinking we're going to abandon the run are mistaken. So I still think that they're going to be effective. And I think this defense is better than I actually thought it was going to be. And I thought it was going to be good. So, yeah, I think between 12 and 14 wins.
So here, I'll ask you this, Mark.
And everybody in the chat, remember I'm saying it. Call me delusional. Just remember this because I want the credit when it happens.
Oh, no. He got the credit for taking a shit on Makai Lemon at the draft. I'm going to make sure that everyone knows.
Why you bring that up? I didn't even do that.
I'm giving you credit.
Said Jalen Carter. I said, don't worry about
I'm
Jalen Carter.
giving you credit.
But I didn't do it. You're giving me credit for something I didn't do.
Wait a second. I'm giving you credit for taking a shit on that.
I don't want credit. I don't want credit of stuff I didn't do. I didn't shit on that pick at all. I just was in shock.
Yes, you did.
I did not. I literally said nothing. I just sat there and thought, I can't believe A.J. Brown's.
You sat there and cried like a little
Mark. I want to ask. I want to go down to what he just said, that he thinks that's a Super Bowl offense. I want to ask you: do you think the Dallas Cowboys have a player at their respective position, and how many players do you think you have at their respective position on offense that are top 10 players? You can make the argument that Dak's in the top 10 quarterbacks. Saw a ton of lists this year where he's in the top 10. CeeDee Lamb and Pickens are in the top 10. Tyler Smith. Those guys. I want to know outside of Barkley, where's there a player on the Eagles that's in the top 10?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
What besides Barkley, who's a player that's inside the top 10?
That you would consider Eagles? A top 10 player at their respective position.
Oh, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I think
I'm talking
they're both
offense.
I
asked
offense.
You, do you have an offense?
Okay, specifically offense?
Yeah.
I would say I believe DeVonta Smith is. I also believe arguably our left tackle is. And I believe if Lane can stay healthy, I think he is at his position. So I'd say you got at least 2 to 3 guys on the offensive line, depending upon health, and it looks like they're healthy.
I would look at Lamont, or I like Jordan Mailata. He's a really good football player. Guy's never made a Pro Bowl, but that doesn't, and it's not indicative of the talent level that I think he is. Landon is so far away from being. He's my most concerning player right now.
Fair enough. No argument, but we know what he can do if he's healthy. So we just got to keep that in mind. It's going to be he's healthy and great, or he's struggling and he's hurt. And that we'll see.
Mark, what kind of year are you looking at for Dak?
Well, every other year seems like he's been injured in the past. If our running game is good, and our defense is solid, I think he's going to have a really good year. I don't think you're going to see the 5,000 yards that some people are predicting. I'd actually like to see him with about 3,800 yards and about 30 TDs, and actually that we actually are running the football and controlling the clock.
Philly over under 1,500 yards for Barkley this year.
Oh, man, that's right around where I think he's going to get. So I'll say over. But that's right about where I think he's about 1,400 or 1,500 yards this year.
You think he has an uptick in catches with screens?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think he's going to have – I think he's going to threaten the 2,000 total yards mark, actually. I think he's going to have a fair amount of catches out of the backfield.
You think you're going to see more movement this year from Jalen throwing on the run?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they want to do that. It looks like they want to roll him out and get him out of pocket. I love seeing that, by the way. I love it.
I would say this to you, Mark. If the Dallas Cowboys are going to be successful this year, I think a guy that you have to implement more into your pass game, it's got to be that tight end Ferguson, because
Agree.
I think Ferguson is one of the most underutilized guys in that offense, and I think he's a pretty good football player, and he's developing into a pretty good unit. You arguably have the most talented offense in the NFC East, okay? And they've got to – Philly, I would say this, for Dallas to win a boatload of games, Mark, you've got to control that clock, and I just don't know if your run game's good enough to be able – the difference that Philly has, if Philly can get back to that run game like they did in 2022 and 2024, bro, you know how they beat teams? They ran you off the clock, and they just owned field position. And they were winners on first down and second down. They were starting short the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Their crux and their problems have been 23 and 24 was turnovers in 23 and their inability to be able to win first and second down in 25.
Yeah.
You guys have to be able to run the ball, I think, better. So, Williams, are you looking at over under 1,300 yards?
I think they're going to be using their backup running back quite a bit more. Malik Davis has actually been showing up and looking really, really good. So I think they're going to be splitting time to try and save him towards the end of the season. We actually, surprisingly, again, I'm going to still say it was only the Cardinals, but you actually had Jaden Blue, who's actually showing up and actually playing pretty well too. The big worry with him is he does have a tendency to fumble a bit.
Philly, couple last questions here for you guys. Jonathan Grenard, where are you on this whole thing with him?
Just waiting. We're starting to get a little worried, though. And maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I should. But, you know, he went through all of camp without being ready. And it doesn't look like he's going to be ready anytime soon. So that concerns me. I'm concerned about it.
Are you more concerned with Grenard, or are you more concerned with Lemon?
Grenard. I would say Grenard. Yeah. Yeah, because he was hurt last year and he missed a lot of time last year with the injury. And he's coming over to a new team. I feel like with Lemon, what might happen might affect the beginning and early in this year or half the season. But I think that, you know, he's coming back at least enough time to play maybe a preseason game this weekend. And then, you know, hopefully he can catch up. But Grenard, I mean, you know, he was hurt last year for a lot of games. So I'm just worried that this is going to continue.
Mark, how do you feel about Winters and Overshawn at inside linebacker on your defense? How do you feel about them two dudes?
Well, here's what's interesting is last year Javonte Williams didn't do anything in preseason, and that's where we were looking at Miles Sanders and Jaden Blue, and they kind of put him on bubble wraps, and nobody had a clue what he was going to do. It seems like they're doing the same thing with D. Winters right there. Now, there's still kind of a question mark on who's actually going to be the starting linebacker. A lot of people have Barham being the green dot that's in there. Some people believe that Overshown, who's had more experience, will be the green dot. It may end up being out of nowhere that it is D. Winters.
I'll tell you what, I would say that's one of your bigger concerns going into this year is that linebacker position, because Overshawn coming back off that injury is really, in my opinion, probably going to be really the sense of what and where that defense goes. I got to tell you, Mark, I really like the fact that you got Gary and Clark inside with Williams. I think that's a pretty good front, man. I think that's the best front the Cowboys have had in a long time. when it comes to interior defensive linemen. Maybe even you could go back 13, 14. You might go back to the Jimmy Johnson Cowboys that you've been that good inside.
Probably 2007 would have been the best one since the 90s, back when we had Jay Radcliffe and Hatcher and guys like that. But we have not had anybody anywhere close to that, size-wise, strength-wise, and ability-wise in forever.
Billy, last one for you. Ready? Will the 2026 defense for the Philadelphia Eagles be a better unit than the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles defense?
Yes, I think so.
That's the greatest defense, in my opinion, because it's the most accomplished.
Well, it's the most accomplished. It's not the greatest defense I ever seen with the Eagles, but I mean, they definitely won more.
Jerome, I'm sorry. Okay, it's the most accomplished. Okay, it's the most accomplished.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys that were on that team that won that Super Bowl are young guys that are going into their third years now, right? They're hopefully getting better. It looks like we've got more depth on this team. So, you know, guys like Jeremiah Trotter were just rookies. He's looking like, how you keep this guy off the field, you know? So I think overall, and I'll say this, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are both in tremendous shape and both look really good. And we did not have that with them together. So I think overall, I think they could be better. I actually do.
Mark, I'll tell you what I really like about the Eagles inside there with Carter and Davis. You want to hear something about Jalen Carter? Good. So let's take a look at this. How many years has he been in the league now? He's going into his fourth year. Am I right when I say that? He's going into year 4?
Year 3.
Year 3. Okay, it's year 3. Okay. So go back the previous 3 years. Is it? Okay.
It can't be year 3. He just got paid.
He's still in a rookie. Yeah, but his extension doesn't even kick in for like another year.
4.
Yeah, but it might be 4.
So he's got to be going into 4.
Yeah,
he's going into till after 3.
Yeah, he's going into 4. Okay, so check this out. 4. Mark, prior to that, all Jalen Carter has known is this. He won back-to-back national titles at Georgia. In Philly, he's won 2 NFC championships, and he's won a Super Bowl. He's been in the playoffs every year. Man, I'll tell you what, that's quite a resume for a kid. And he just got paid, and he's the highest paid defensive tackle in football.
And you're bringing this to me for what?
I'm just telling you, man, when you draft somebody.
I want you to know for your next video.
Wait, what I'm telling you is this. When you draft people, you want to draft people from winning programs.
That's right. That's
hard to argue with that one.
Okay, I mean,
agreed.
I want to draft captains and people who have won and been in winning programs and know how to win. I mean, Cooper DeJean was a captain at Iowa. Okay, there's a coincidence to this that these guys and the people that, and I'll tell you, I said this earlier. Mark, do you agree with me when I say this about Jerry Jones? The difference between Jerry and Howie, and by the way, I hate that fucking Howie's in those meetings about the personnel and what he does and controlling the roster. That undermines
he's got the final say in the last 3 spots. You know that, right? He's got the final say.
And I think that's absurd. But at the end of the day, here's what Jerry does better than what Jerry does. If Howie sees a fuck up, he's going to pivot quicker. Jerry doesn't. He doesn't pivot because you know why? Like look at Jalen Reagor. They pivoted and what? 2 years later, they got A.J. Brown. So he pivots quicker. Jerry Jones doesn't pivot like that. He'll hold on to that guy.
You know what? No, because we got rid of Mozzie and brought in Quentin Williams.
That's the first time you've done that in a long time.
Okay, right. That's where I said we were beginning to the whole Mike.
You're right. 2 years he held him and then he fired him.
Right. And normally somebody like Von Miller they would have brought in to say he's the starter as opposed to a rotational piece.
All right. Do you guys split this year, or is there going to be a sweep?
No, we're sweeping.
Sweeping. Okay.
Take the brooms out, baby.
Stuff. Yeah.
What's that shirt say, Mark?
Save it.
Okay. This is our.
Okay.
I don't know, but we need the 3 Studad shirt.
As strangers, this game, this star, this team will make us brothers.
Woo! Listen. Listen to that. That's some epiphany there with the star, dude. The star, Philly. The number one logo in all of American sports. The logo.
The satanic logo. That thing is so satanic.
Yeah, we
Not
got to
even
finish this
funny.
up. I got to go cook some chicken wings, man.
Got you, bro. Guys, I appreciate you guys.
I want the Stunad shirt. That's what we need.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, get that logo and send it to me.
Hey,
I'll get them for all you guys.
Hey, Mark, you're in a really good mood. I hope you have a really good mood the entire year.
I hope so.
Enjoy it, Phil's last few weeks. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not being too hard on him. Just give him a few weeks.
Might be different.
Guys, I appreciate and love both of you, man. Thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys are awesome, man.
Peace.
I appreciate it. You got it.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Fantastic with both guys. Make sure you check out their fabulous work. Make sure you check out Mark Holmes. How about Mark battling through with the throat again, too? He's getting better, by the way. It sounds better. I do dig the shirt, too. Make sure you send that logo over to Mark. Well, that's if he hasn't blocked you. Send over that logo to our boy Mark Holmes. I look forward to that segment, man. You guys kick ass each and every single time, and we thank you guys. All right, let me pay some bills here. The number one injury firm in all of America for a reason. It is Morgan & Morgan. Can't tell you. This firm will defend you and your family. If you've ever been injured on the job, folks, I tell you about, a family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650K. They got nearly $30 million in settlement. Or how about the family in Florida that was initially offered $350,000? They got nearly $12 million in settlement. Do me a favor. If you've ever been injured, go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
bathroom. Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on sports grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on sports grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Appreciate you guys coming aboard. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button. Last time the Cowboys were relevant, Tupac, Eazy-E, and Selena were all alive. Bill Clinton was getting a tug in the White House. Nice job there, Kyle. Thank you very much. Way to bring it there. Dude, I think the Cowboys are going to be a good football team this year. But, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. They got to get out there and they got to go play. They got to go play. By the way, they're guys inside. Here. Quinnen Williams, I think, is just as good as Jalen Carter. Kenny Clark. Jordan Davis. Rashawn Gary's had a hell of a career. Rashawn Gary's career. Let's see. 9.5, 6, 10, 7.5, 7.5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in Green Bay. He's got almost 50 sacks. It's not awful. That's not awful. 6'5", 277. I'd put him in a room with Jonathan Grenard. Trenches, the Cowboys got better in the trenches after the Micah Parsons deal. They've gotten better. Cowboys are a pathetic franchise with a pathetic fan base. 90% of their fans never even been to Texas. Cowboys got a legendary franchise, as do the Eagles. I look forward to Philly crying this year, Sills. We'll need to ask, why are you crying this week, Philly? Cowboys have a great franchise. Here, this is where I think they have the advantage. Let's see how many advantages the Cowboys have player talent-wise. Cowboys, Eagles. Let's start on defense. Caleb Downs versus Cooper. Cooper. Nickel. Durant Bland. Hold on. We'll go the other corner. Kobe Durant. Q. CB1. And I would even say CB2. I think both linebackers. Eagles. Quinnen Williams or Jalen Carter off of 26. That's a push. Nose tackle, I'll give it to the Eagles. Right defensive end, Moro Jomo, Kenny Clark. I'll take Kenny Clark. Close. Safeties, Jalen Thompson, Malik Cooker. I'll give it to the Eagles. Both safeties. Totally. They have the advantage on defense, the Eagles. No mistaken. They have the advantage. On the offensive side, I think the quarterback is in Dallas. Running back, is in Philly. CeeDee Lamb versus DeVonta Smith, wide receiver 1, is Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb's a better football player than DeVonta Smith. DeVonta Smith has never proven he's a 1. CeeDee has. Pickens is by far a better number 2. Number 3, it's a push. Tight end, I'd go Goddard. I do like Ferguson, though. Left tackle, Tyler Guyton. No. That's clearly Mulata. Left guard, Tyler Smith. Totally. Tyler Smith. Center, Cooper Beebe. I think Beebe had a better year a year ago than, what's his name? Tyler Booker. Landon. I'll go Tyler Booker. And Terrence Steele at right tackle. I'll take Lane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the Cowboys have more of an advantage on the offensive side of the ball, but the Eagles have an overwhelming advantage on the defensive side of the ball. Why? They beat you last year. They beat you a year ago. I mean, what? And they were down 21. Don't make it sound like they didn't beat you. Don't you love that? You're only basing it on last year or career. Last year. You're only as good as the year you played last, Philly. Wow, that's crazy. And thank God. Didn't Eagles beat them? Yeah. 1-1. Compare offense against defense. We'll see how that. I saw it a year ago. They did beat you. Yeah, no. Nothing career here. Dak going to throw for a lot of yards that don't make the playoffs. Dak throws for a lot of yards. Philly 500 will be correct. If Dak's up around 4,800 yards, the Cowboys are 8-9. Now, here's the deal. Via Adam Schefter, no more Pro Bowl. I wonder how the selections are going to go then. Now, get this, guys. Now the Pro Bowl matters again. When you take that game away, the Pro Bowl matters because you know why? There's not going to be any alternates. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Eagles came back on the Rams like the Cowboys did, so the Eagles are better than the Rams with Sill's logic. You can't take any game and match it up with different personnel. It's ridiculous to say that. Every week is a different matchup when it comes to teams' personnel. Some teams match up versus different teams. And one of the most important things that you have to always remember, I don't give a fuck about the Rams if I'm the Eagles and those wins. I have to beat the guys in my division first and foremost. I build my football team to win my division first because I play those teams twice every year. I mean, who gives a shit about the Rams? You got to win your division, guy. Here's an issue with the Cowboys offense, Sills. They are not good in the red zone. I think they were ranked 17th. Eagles are better red zone offense than Dallas, just saying. Yeah, but you had limited attempts down there on third down. You had the least amount of attempts in red zone of any team last year in football that was in the top 10. You were the least attempted team. So there's context to that as well. See, here's why, to me, the problem with the Eagles offense. You led the NFL in 3-and-outs. You're the most. How about this? The Eagles' offense was in third and long more than any other offense that went to the playoffs last year. Philly 500. You say the Eagles are better than the Cowboys at red zone. Well, you have to get to the red zone to have a lot of attempts. Yeah, they didn't have a lot of attempts last year. Why can't the 49ers worry about their division only and not the Eagles? You think the 49ers give a shit about the Eagles? They care more about the Rams and the Seahawks. What does beating the Eagles have to do with winning the NFC West? Nothing. You build your football team to win your division. That's how you get a home field bye. Okay? I mean, please repeat your statement to the 49ers. If I'm the 49ers, I'm not worried about Philly. I got to worry first and foremost about the Rams and the Seahawks before I sit there and worry about a team 30,000 miles away. You got to worry about the guy you play twice a year. Cowboys scored a lot outside the red zone with big pass plays and run plays. Yeah, but to Philly's point, here's the problem that the Cowboys always, and why the Cowboys had teams like Arizona beat them. The Cowboys couldn't put teams away. Their run game was not good enough to put teams away. They had to throw the ball. When you have to throw the ball with 2 minutes left in a game and you can't run a team off the scoreboard and win time of possession, that's why the Cowboys lost games late, because they couldn't control the clock. The difference in the 90s Cowboys and what they're doing now, by far, today's Dallas Cowboys, that's a way better passing attack than what the Cowboys ever had in the last 35 years. It's by far a better passing attack. But their run game, it suffers when it's late in ball games. 2 minutes into a half and 2 minutes into the close of the game. Cowboys can't put people away. The Eagles traditionally have been able to put people away with their run game. They couldn't put people away last year. That's why teams were able that could run the ball. Every team that ran the ball last year, the Eagles lost. Think of that. All 6 losses. All those teams ran for 150 yards or more as an average. And 5 yards almost to carry. Every single team that ran the ball, that's how they beat the Eagles. And I would do that same philosophy. I want to see if that run defense improved. Yeah, well, now, Philly, the Pro Bowl matters. Because if you get named to a Pro Bowl, there ain't no alternates. You make that Pro Bowl now, it matters. Nobody wanted to go to the game. Nobody wanted to play in it. You get named now, there ain't no fifth alternate now on being named to the Pro Bowl because you're not having a game. So if you get named All-Pro or you get named to the Pro Bowl, even though they don't have it, you still have those in your contract. Cowboy fans are the loudest ones chirpy despite doing nothing for 30 years. I'm not going to dispute that. Cowboys have to win, man. Enough is enough. When are you going to put good football in the playoffs? The reason the Dallas Cowboys, and to Philly 500's point, when you had Zeke Elliott, when he was running the football, you should have won a Super Bowl during that time. Not because of Dak's time, but because when they had Zeke running the ball. The problem with Zeke was they thought they had Emmitt Smith. I want to show you something. I want to show you something here with Zeke and why Zeke was fool's gold compared to Emmett. So here's Zeke. Here's what happened to Zeke. 322 carries, 1631, led the NFL in rushing. Year 2, missed 6 games. 242, 983, 7 touchdowns. Following year, 304, 1434, led the NFL in rushing. 301, okay, 1357. After that, Zeke never went over 240 carries ever again in his career. He was never going to last long. I'll show you why it matters, because this is why Emmett and why Ezekiel Elliott was fool's gold. Look at Emmett, man. It's insane. It's insane what Emmett did. Look at the carries. I'm not even going to count the yards. 365, 373, 368, 373, 327, 329, 301, 300. This was all in consecutive years. And Emmett was the real deal. Zeke was a flash in the pan. Right. Good point, Sills. Their defense was formidable when Zeke was there too. Yeah. For them not to have won a Super Bowl when Zeke Elliott was running early in his career, those first 4 years, that's when they needed to win a Super Bowl. When those first 4 years, after that, they were never going to be in a position to ever win a Super Bowl again because they never had the predominant run game. Like from 2016 to 2000, maybe 19, the Cowboys should have won a Super Bowl in there. 108.7 yards per game, 98.3, 95.6. He led the NFL in yards per game. They needed to win the Super Bowl in that time frame, because after that, 244, 237, 231, 184, 74, and he's out of the league. They ran that pony as far as they could. Sometimes you have a guy like Emmett who can go for 20 years, 17 years, and sometimes you have a guy like Zeke Elliott go 4 years. That's what the Cowboys had. That was the biggest problem that they had. They had a formidable defense. They were pretty decent on third down when it came to Des Bryant on the team. But after that, they never really had a predominant runner. Then the offensive line started aging. Their offensive line was just as formidable at that time when Zeke played as the Eagles. Sills, one of the things I like about Schottenheimer is he takes full responsibility about the inefficiencies in the red zone. He says that was one of the main focuses going into camp. Yeah, they got to run the ball, dude. When you're down in the red zone, DFW, what's the number one thing you fight when you're in the red zone? What do you think that is? What's the number one thing that you fight when you're in the red zone? What would you think? Perfect. Space. He's exactly right. You're theoretically taking on a 12th defender in the back of the end zone. 12th, 13th, and 14th with the sides. You're talking about limited space. So when you're talking limited space, you limit the plays and go to the most successful plays. Most notably, the run game. The Cowboys have never had a run game down in red zone because they're so built around Dak. What the Eagles do, that's, again, has to be aside on what Nick saw. Jalen Hurts may not be the passer. Jalen Hurts may not be a pocket guy. But Jalen Hurts in the red zone, here, get this. Jalen Hurts is better of a weapon in the red zone than Dak is. Why? When they get inside the 20, the Cowboy offense is nowhere near the Eagle offense. Why? Anybody know? Because Hurts is a threat. Dak's not a threat. He's not going to take off running. And nor do the Cowboys want him running. And Jalen is a better red zone quarterback than Dak because of ability. I mean, Dak is a one-horse pony down there in the red zone. He's either going to throw it up, 50-50 balls. He's either going to throw to open guys, or he's going to throw into double coverage. Hurts doesn't have to do that. Hurts can take off and make plus yards, 6 yards, 5 yards. Make it closer. Then you can, even if you miss it on fourth down, the Cowboys are on the 2-yard line going out with 2 minutes left. You still get the opportunity to kick a field goal in the third or fourth quarter to win the football game because you played field position and you were smart in the red zone. The Cowboys aren't smart in the red zone because the football team is built different than what Philly is. Well, it's a fact. Dak's not a red zone quarterback because he throws in the tight windows. Hey, Philly, look what happened to Russell Wilson. When Russell Wilson threw into a tight window in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, Belichick knew that. Run the fucking ball with Marshawn Lynch. They would have had 2 back-to-back Super Bowls in a row if they did the right thing and go into their formula. Run the ball. Instead, for whatever reason, they went off the reservation. That has to be one of the most egregious play calls for a big game in NFL history. Is to throw that play on the 2 to close the game out, and you going on and win 2 in a row with minutes left in the ball game. New England had no timeouts. It was over. Nope. Pete, just like in the national title game against Texas, what did he do? He went for it on fourth down. And what happened? They didn't get it. Texas got the ball back, and Vince Young took it down the sidelines, and they won a national title. For as good a coach as Pete Carroll is, 2 of the biggest screw-ups in the history of big games is by Pete Carroll. That USC-Texas game and that Super Bowl against the Patriots. Those are dumb plays. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking. Run the ball, dude. I mean, run the ball. See, and I always thought this. If that was really the case, how dumb can you be? When you're a quarterback, you're going to get credit for winning the Super Bowl, whether you're instrument. Look at this. 2024. Jalenites in here want to still give Jalen all the credit in the world for the 2024 season because he was named a Super Bowl MVP. Hurts had a great moment in that game. He didn't have a great year that year. It was the year of Barkley. However, because he's the quarterback, he's going to get the love. I never got that theory. Wilson would have got the love for winning 2 times and going back-to-back. It was a stupid decision to make, and Pete should be held accountable for that. Sills, you just got done saying the Cowboys had better wide receivers than us. They do have better wide receivers than you. Then you turn around and say Dak doesn't got the better offense. I do say they have the better offense than you. I just said you got a better red zone offense. Jesus criminy, guy. Clean your fucking ears. That's not what I said. I mean, yeah, Pete laid those two eggs in those big giant games. That's coaching decision too, dude. That's what that comes down to. This guy is as dumb as it gets too. I said you had a better red zone. Because the quarterback was a better red zone player. Because he's got more ability to be able to do different things down there. Now he's sitting there saying that I said that. Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't make that shit up. You just can't. And remember to play before the 1 yard line. Marshawn dragged 4 players to the 1. Okay? Dude. You guy's the stupidest dude in here, man. This guy listens to like 1%. He must be 4. Because he's got the attention span of a guy that's 4 years old, which usually means you have the attention span of a second. I mean, you can't have the attention span of an adult. I'm assuming. Get this. You did say that. You said that Dak doesn't got weapons like Hurts. I'm assuming that this guy is just making this up. Did anybody hear me say that Dak doesn't have weapons like Hurts? When you've got George Pickens, you're right, my friend. You're right. Back of the bus for that guy. Back of the bus. Eagle fans worrying about a 7-9 team. That's sad. Eagle fans. Well, the Cowboys had a better record in division than the Eagles did last year. Short toss. It also comes down to organizational decisions. That's the most important thing. That's what separates all of those organizations. Rams, Patriots, Eagles. Shit rolls downhill. Correct. Absolutely. You got good decision makers. That stuff traditionally, okay? That stuff traditionally rolls downhill. Like there's no coincidence Bob Kraft has the best football organization over the last 25 years. There's no coincidence. Seals, the Eagles have been better the last 5 years. Sure. I'd rather be better the last 25 years. And win 6 Super Bowls. And go to 11. I don't know. Oh, I think the Cowboys are. Why are the Cowboys worried? What did the Cowboys do that made you know that they had to catch up with the Eagles? What have they done in the last 2 years? Let's see if Cowboy fans are smart. What have the Cowboys? Thank you. What have the Cowboys done the last 2 years? There you go, Leon. They got DTs to stop the inside game. Leon, doesn't this, there you go. Doesn't this show you? Teams build their rosters for their divisional opponents. They didn't get 2 DTs in Dallas to beat the Rams. They got 2 DTs to beat the Eagles because they're in the NFC East. And Philly wants to run the ball with the quarterback and with Barkley. If you're out west, you want pass rushers. Who do you think they got? They got Micah Parsons in the north for what? Detroit throws the football. Chicago throws the football. Why do you think you got Myles Garrett to go to the NFC West? Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold. Got to rush the passer. Got to get to the quarterbacks. You build your team to the opponents in your division. You don't give a shit about the Eagles. Don't care about the Rams. They want to beat them, but they don't care about them. You care about the teams you play twice a year, your divisional opponents. Seals Cowboys top 5 rushing defense by week 5. I believe. Well, here's something that this man is saying right here that's never happened. So you're going to go from being the worst run defense in football a year ago. I think you were. Let me see. The Cowboys were 23rd in rush defense to top 5. And the Cowboys were the 30th ranked defense overall. That's quite a turnaround, my friend. Seattle will come back to earth. They are not that good. They just won a Super Bowl. And they beat the Rams. And they won the most games of any team a year ago. And they're not that good. Okay. How about this? That Seattle team destroyed a team that beat you in the playoffs. What was the score of that Seattle? What was the score of Seattle and the 49ers? What was the score of that game? Did they play them in the playoffs? Who did they play? 2025. They beat the 49ers 41-6. They beat them 41-6. And you lost to that team. 41-6. They're not that good. Then what are you? 41-6. Don't you love that? JD3 comes out. Yeah, hey, Seattle's not that good. What would they do to that team? They beat the doorknobs off them. If people could throw on Dallas all day, they aren't going to run. Skewers their defensive ratings, but bet they were near last in the league in pass defense. I think they were. Cowboys were last in pass defense. I think our offense's sweet spot should be top 15 passing, top 5, 7-ish rushing with our projected top 5 defense. We should be one of the top teams in the league. Okay? I think you're right. If you get that formula, top 5, top 15 in passing, you're middle of the room, which you haven't been, but 1 year out of the last 5, and you run the ball top 5, and your defense is top 5, you'll be in a Super Bowl. Oh, hey, guys, I just got reminded. Do me a favor. We've got a couple spots left for the upcoming tailgate party. Please do me a favor, okay? I think we've got like 30 left. Okay? December 13th, we have an event. We're going to be in town for this event, okay? And we're going to be in Philadelphia for this. So do me a favor. I want you to be involved in this. We're going to be in Lot P for the JAKIB Sports Holiday Tailgate between the Eagles and Colts. It will be a 1 o'clock kickoff. The tailgate will begin at 9 and go till noon. The the holiday tailgate, Eagles versus Colts, December 13th. Tailgate, as I said, will be from 9 to 12. Lot P, South Philly, $135. Buy one or two max per person. And I got a feeling this thing's going to be sold out by the end of the program here, okay? Game ticket, Eagles versus Colts, custom JAKIB Nation hoodie, Big Sales autographs per reservation. Listen to this. I'm going to bring a bunch of stuff to sign for you guys. By the way, I've got a cool-ass picture of Jerome Brown and myself that I found when we were at the Fiesta Bowl together. And I'll make some copies. It's Jerome and myself. We're sitting there in Tempe. It's a really cool picture. Butch Davis sent it to me. And it's going to be wild. So do me a favor. Text Big Joe at 267-261-3428. That's 267-261-3428 for you to be involved in that. So it's going to be a great time. We're looking forward to this too. By the way, I've already told my aunt. My aunt's going to come down. I think my wife is going to come. So we're looking forward to that. Plus, there's going to be a bunch of my friends. I'm trying to get Angelo. Angelo said if he's got nothing to do, he said he'll do it. Howard's still recovering from like hip surgery. So I'll try to ask him. But I think Angelo, if everything goes well, Angelo and Gail, his wife, want to come down and want to shake a palm and sit there with all of us there in Lot P. So it should be a great time for all. So again, make sure you do that. Text right now, last time here, 267-261-3428. So good stuff. TD Eagle fans know that they're in trouble. Cowboys coming. Dude, Cowboys got to win football games, man. Enough with the talk. I mean, I've never seen, listen, I get the optimism, but it's 30 years of Groundhog Day. You know that movie with Bill Murray? It's like Groundhog Day. The Cowboys, it's not about your passing game. If you don't run the ball better than Philly this year, Philly wins the division. I'll make a comment to you here. You ready? Whoever has a better running game in 2026 will win the NFC East between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Whoever has a better running game will win the East. They'll win the East. Because here's what Dallas has done. Dallas needs to be in the middle of the conversation in defense. They don't have to be top 5. They have to be top 15. Like you guys have to be top 15 in passing. Because if the Cowboys are top 15 in defense and number 1 again in offense, the Cowboys are going to the NFC. They're going to go to the NFC Championship game. They don't have to be number 1 on defense because they got a number 1 offense. Health will play a major part of this. Okay? But I think the Cowboys have just as good an O-line as you. Agreed. Yeah, the Cowboys have been coming for a long time. Dude, the Cowboys are in a bad rut for a long time. The Cowboys since 1960? Come on, man. I mean, you mean the Cowboys the last 30 years have been in a rut. I agree. The Cowboys as an overall franchise? I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't compare the Eagles to the Cowboys overall. The 49ers are in that room too. Patriots, Chiefs. All those teams that have won multiple Super Bowls in multiple. Remember something. The Philadelphia Eagles have been good in the 2000s. That's pretty much it. Don't make it sound like you guys have been great in the 80s, 90s, and the late 1960s. You haven't been. Everyone talked about Coop getting burnt by Douglas, but no one's saying anything about Kyle Hamilton getting cooked today. Let's see another dumb comment. The Cowboys had the number one offense not long ago and missed the playoffs. Passing rankings has no weight. And get this, passing offense has no weight. And yet the Eagles have completely changed their entire passing game around. And yet, once again, this idiot doesn't get it. If the passing game doesn't matter, why in God's name have you gone to a passing offense? Seals, what's your take on the Pro Bowl elimination? Great. One less dumb game. It's like a preseason football game. It completely doesn't matter. However, being named to the Pro Bowl now is a bigger deal. I'm sure you think he's right. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, man. Cowboys got no tackles, and they are as good as the Eagles. The Dallas Cowboys have a better set of guards than you and a better center. You have the better offensive tackles. That's it. Coming off of a year ago, the Cowboys have a better O-line than you. That's a fact. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. Got it. You don't have a better O-line coming off of last year. The Cowboys have a better O-line than you. They were healthier than you. You're going on reputation, guy. Sills, there's been a ton of injuries this preseason. Yeah, why do you think that is? There's been a ton of injuries because of this. Ready? There's been a ton of injuries because these guys aren't ready to play. Sills, you and I are on the same page 75% of the time. All good, bro. That's what makes good sports talk. I appreciate that. I will take Lampkin starting over Juergens. Yeah, not me. I'm not taking a 5'11 guy when I've got to take on a 6'6 Quinnen Williams or a 6'5 Quinnen Williams with a 5'11 guy. No, thank you. Let's just say this. It's a stalemate. And Williams puts his hand up. He wins that battle because you know why? Jalen Hurts, how many times did Jalen Hurts have deflected footballs last night? 4? I hate the international games. Make or break year for Lamar. By the time Lamar starts the season, there'll be a $62 million contract extension on the table for him. Vita Vea wins that all night. Vita Vea by far is one of the best interior defensive tackles in pro football. Same with Dexter Lawrence. Those guys are earth movers, dude. Vita Vea can play and can move. He's a good football player. Sills Lampkin was plunging dudes with one arm. Why hasn't he earned a starting job then? If he's so good, well, Sills, he's 5'11". I know. Get this. If Lampkin was 6 feet or 6'1", he'd be starting over Tyler Steen. Let me pay some bills here. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. It's because they win. Folks, this company was built over 30 years ago by John and Ultima Morgan, and I'm telling you, they did it because John's brother got injured on the job, and it became a crusade for them to defend families across this country. Make no mistake about it. They started this company because John couldn't believe that this respected company took advantage of John's brother. And ever since then, this is why Morgan & Morgan is the number one injury law firm in all of the world, not just America. do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Love 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Love 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
There's a reason the flappy, flaily, inflatable tube man dominated the dance-off.
Throw the money in the air. Throw the money in the air. Make it rain, count it up, put it there.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Guys, I appreciate you very much. Hey, little programming note. Tomorrow, my Sports Grid show is going to be on, tomorrow's Thursday. It'll be on noon to 1. And then right after that, obviously, nothing changes. So make sure you check us out Thursday and Friday. We moved to a new time. So we're going Monday through Friday on Sports Grid. So that'll be there for you as well. And Reyes, I see you guys. Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the like button. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.